And now, live from the Man Cave Studios, in the heart of County, Michigan, on a Tuesday night house-divided rant. Co-host, Teddy the Fetty Bester's in the house.
Yay.
Joe Farkas is here.
Woohoo!
Yours truly, Larry Parsons. This is my brain. And now, your host, the man that puts this all together, so I can screw it up, Jeremy Scott Gibbs.
All right. Teddy, get on your buttons, bro. Zoomed out.
You're a gay fish.
Did those automations work, Scott, or did you have to put something? Just the cave or the other one?
I had to push the big gay fish.
The gay fish didn't want to.
What in God's holy name are you
cave
blathering
out?
about?
The sorry, I was hitting the wrong one.
Yeah, the man cave one worked.
There's no rhyme or reason as to which one works which. And you know what's crazy? I put in a second button, and I don't know if it's waiting on the timer, but it hasn't done it yet. It's supposed to switch to the. No, it's not playing. All right.
Wah, wah.
It's supposed to switch to this one. And there it is. There it is, man. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. As usual, there was no technical difficulties worth screaming or throwing DiSerrano bottles about, but it does happen sometimes, especially when Larry talks.
Only when Larry talks.
Only when Larry talks.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show. We're here. Let me adjust this camera real quick on the rail. Boom, boom. Come on, rail. Boom. The rail camera does not want to do what I want it to do. Oh, it's doing it. I'm looking at the stupid feed from Rumble, wondering why it's not moving. That's me. I'm the intern. Retard.
Come on, man.
I'm not going to be allowed in my own place.
We still love you.
Yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. It's a house divided conversation tonight. We're going to talk about there's a lot of division going on over Iran, and then a whole bunch of other stuff, and a lot of stuff, and you know, it's about divide and conquer, man. That's what they want to do. They don't care what you're arguing about or how much they think you're right and the other person's wrong. As long as you're fighting with somebody else, they can slowly keep the agenda moving forward and screw everything up. But welcome to the show, Joe. It's been a while, buddy.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the invite, and I listened to your Sunday podcast, or as much of it as I could.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I wish I was there. I wish I was there.
So it was fortuitous. Yeah. I called you up. I'm like, Patrick's still not 100%. He said he's going to chime into chat. And I'm like, well, I'll see what Joe's doing.
Well, you made the right move.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited. All right. So let's see. Dinner recap. Chicken thighs and cheesy macaroni. Who didn't go back for seconds? This guy.
Well, yeah, because Larry brought you White Castle and you enjoyed it.
Larry brought
you
White
are fake
Castle.
news. You are fake news.
I tease Jeremy and say, hey, you want anything from White Castle? He says, no.
Don't
do it. Don't you.
You might go to White Castle for their food, but do not get in the driver's lane to pick your food up, drive-through. Yeah. Boy, I got stuck there twice. I got stuck there once a half hour and the other.
What?
Yep.
This guy takes his wife there for Valentine's Day. Oh, ask him about it. He'll tell you, show you pictures. He'll give the whole thing.
Yeah, we went to Valentine's dinner at White Castle.
What'd you do for your anniversary? Wendy's?
No, we don't like Wendy's.
Oh, you don't like Wendy's. Oh, okay.
What's wrong with Wendy's, dude?
Nothing, I'm kidding.
Wendy's is great,
that was
man.
just the funny answer.
No, the best burger is the one, they have one in Troy. What do they call it? Smash Burger.
smash burger. I haven't
Yeah.
tried those. The Hunter House used to be really good
Oh, okay.
in downtown Birmingham.
Birmingham, that's
Yeah.
where that. Yeah.
And they were really good, believe it or not. And there used to be braised burgers and Bates burgers. Those were really good. My favorite has always been White Castle as far as fast hamburgers go. If you want a really good hamburger, though, in Brighton, you go to Champs.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Champs.
you might not believe this, but the best burger I get is at Applebee's.
Okay.
Really?
Vince
And-
likes the cowboy one, the one that's got the barbecue on it.
Yeah,
Onion rings.
and onion rings, yeah. And they have, you know how when you bite into the Agnes beef
Yes.
and you know it's good beef, that's Applebee's.
Mm-hmm. Well, very good. We had a good dinner. What'd you eat at home today?
I had what did I have? Subway. I had Subway earlier in the afternoon. When you called, I was eating
You were
Subway.
eating Subway, and that tied you over
Yeah, and that
for our
tides me
marathon
over.
8-hour podcast tonight?
We might have to order Jets.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that. Let's see. I gotta resize this. All right. Let's do some disclaimers here. I think Super Ted's ready to go. Are you ready, Teddy?
Oh, really?
Oh, now he finds the buttons. What are you doing, Larry? Posting the show finally?
Well, if he was posting the show, he'd be like, join us on another exciting episode of This Is My Brain.
I do
Your
that
local
occasionally.
news from a conservative perspective. And he'll post that in like every single local Facebook group there
He
is.
sends it to me.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
like-
like to everybody.
I'm in the group chat and I run the show. I already have the link, buddy. He still sends me the link. I'm like, okay. Love you, Larry.
Fucking Larry.
Oh, Teddy dropping bombs already.
Well, does it count for if I say
Yeah,
if it involves Larry,
it's
though?
not a, well, you're right. It doesn't really count as a slur. All right, let's see. Royal Red Robin Hood, Dale says. That's what he likes.
Big K says Teddy raised on braised burgers. They are pretty good.
Yeah,
The Grand Diner over on Grand River in Wixom.
the Grand Diner. What kind of burgers are those?
It's an old fashioned chrome burger joint. It's got the neon wrapped around. It's a really, really good little quaint restaurant.
Nice.
Get burgers and fries. I think it was like $6.
Oh, you can't beat that, dude. Yeah. There's some great burgers. You know, I was intimidated by the smash burgers when people would talk about them. Oh, you smash burger. And then I was like, wait, you're just making a burger into a meatball, and then you plop it on the skillet, and then you smash it after it cooks for a little bit. And
Yeah.
Oh,
spreads
there's
out.
so much more to that.
I'm like, well, that was the gist of it. I was like, wait, how is this different from
No.
Tell
there's
me
than
more.
that.
Tell me more, Scotty.
Oh, you got to have the sauteed onions.
Oh, you're mixing everything in it.
Yeah, you're cooking the onions,
okay.
caramelizing it with the meat, and steaming the bun. Yeah, buddy.
In California, they have In-N-Out,
Yeah.
and people line up around the block to get there. And I had it once. I was not impressed
You weren't
at all.
impressed?
Not at all. I don't see what the big deal is.
Well, you don't have the same endorphins kicking as this Californians.
Yeah. But I hear they're backsliding a little bit.
The In-N-Out burger? Oh,
Not quite what they used to be.
right on. Giving a shout out tonight to Chopskis in lovely downtown Milford, where Teddy actually works.
True.
Lisa and her husband,
Jim.
were here on Saturday for the party. They brought
Shepherd's
pie.
Shepherd's pie
How was that?
It is phenomenal.
Yeah, really great.
Dude, we're going to get into it after disclaimers because the party was great. The corned beef
It was good.
melt in your freaking mouth, dude. Scotty yelled at me because we were sampling over there. And I was like, Scotty, you want to come cut? And he's like, you already cut? I'm like, those are just samples. He's like, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, Dale says it was great catching up with Lisa. Yeah, it was great. We had a great turnout, a lot of good people. Band we jammed out, some good tunes, and then it devolved into drunken karaoke as usual.
As usual.
Teddy got up there and did some. What song did you do?
I did a lot.
We'll go over in a second.
Teddy
Let's do
did a
the-
lot of songs.
Yeah, let's do.
I always do a lot of songs though.
You always do it. All right, I'm going to open up with the full-blown disclaimer.
Pyrus
Where's my button?
Pyrus 27570 says, "Hey y'all."
Hey, y'all.
And then Dale says, "Best is Teloways or Mott's." I'm guessing like burger wise.
Okay. Mott's Burger. You have to send me a link on that, Big Deal.
Telway, is that Michigan liver noise
Telway?
Yeah.
Could be.
in Detroit?
You
I
guys are
think it
really
is.
into burgers, man.
Yeah.
I dig that. I like it.
Telway has really good.
Probably the best.
Oh,
There's one. Where's that? On Michigan Avenue?
Michigan and,
Probably the best
Wyoming?
burger.
and liver noise.
Probably the-
Livernois.
Yeah.
Michigan and Livernois. Yeah.
Probably the
That
best
place
burger
is
I've
pretty
had here in the state would be Brown Bear Tavern in Pentwater, right by Ludington.
Oh, yeah.
Best burger that I've had in the state.
right?
I've had a lot of burgers.
Yeah, I see that. No, I'm kidding, Teddy.
When did I make burgers the other day? Scott, were you here for the burgers the other day? That we did on the sourdough? Yes.
Yes, I was.
I've gotten compliments of my burgers too,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, it was good.
But a burger without onions is
Doesn't
a
work
hunk of
for
meat
you.
Doesn't-
on bread.
doesn't do
No,
it.
you
Yeah,
gotta.
you gotta caramelize them really good.
Yeah, you gotta get good caramel and cheese.
And cheese, yeah.
Yep. Whether you put American cheese or cheddar cheese or jalapeno pepper cheese.
Larry brings his own and sticks it in my fridge. So if I make burgers, he's got a stash in there.
I do.
Yeah.
He's telling on
Well,
me.
that's smart thinking. You're prepared.
There's half drank bottles of diet whatever down there.
I
Larry
guess
just
I
thinks
guess
he's a
I'm
truck-
out
he's a
because
truck driver.
I didn't think to bring any Diet Coke with me,
Mhm.
so I had to drink a beer.
Oh, well,
You poor thing. All right, let's do this.
Ring ring.
Ring. Oh, I know why my button's not working. My button is working. I don't have the second screen turned on because I was late to turn that up. There we go.
There we go.
And now it should go to wall feed, man. It's not going to wall feed. I'm so disappointed. Staying right on that. Go back. There. Thank you.
technical issues.
Notice this podcast is usually jacked up. It's raw, unfiltered, politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas, Pledge of Allegiance, especially the part about one nation under God. We thank our troops for their service. We only recognize two genders. Oh, this is the old one.
Yeah.
Wait. I can't do that old one.
No. We
So-
have a new and improved.
We got a new
We have a
one.
new and
There we
improved
go.
one.
We only recognize three genders, or we recognize three genders: male,
Ah.
female, and mentally ill. As adults, we enjoy adult beverages. I think I'm. Oh, Teddy's throwing the brain in there. Cheers. Back to the wall feed. There we go. We cuss. We do not curse or swear. Look up the definitions, please, for the love of God, and stop saying, "Pardon my French." It's Anglo-Saxon.
Pardon my Anglo-Saxon.
Correct. We love Jesus, but we hate religion and religious hypocrites. If any of this offends you, you can go ahead and
Leave.
Bye-bye.
Make like a tree and leaf.
Make like a tree and leaf.
Make like a hockey player and get the puck out of here.
Get the. Dun, 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 dun. And so, in honor of this, is what Teddy wanted tonight. You ready, Big T?
Mhm.
Go.
If you want to know who controls you, look who you are not allowed to criticize.
Look at who you are not allowed to criticize.
Voltaire.
Yeah. Oh, who are you not allowed to
Was he a
criticize?
Vulcan?
No.
Okay.
No.
Beam Larry up.
Exactly. I didn't ask you, Joe. Do you want to go with Reagan or Thomas Jefferson?
Thomas Jefferson.
All right.
Reagan. Well, I don't
Well,
think so.
I don't want to discriminate my opponent for his age.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
There we go.
Oh, a government big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take away everything you have.
There it is. Thomas Jefferson. Very good, sir. And Larry.
Ooh. Hey, a new one.
Go.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Period.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, or the Bill of Rights, to be specific. And it was issued on December 15th, 1791, and it expires when everybody in America loses their balls.
Never.
You pried from my cold dead hands. All right, and with that, let's all get in here on this one.
Never apologize and never explain. It's a sign of weakness.
And I think that people out here would do well, if you're watching, to understand that apologies do nothing with these monsters.
Nothing. All right, disclaimers are out of the way. Teddy added that new one tonight from Voltaire. It's pretty cool. Scotty, you got to holler him if you want to get in on that.
There is someone in chat that's saying hi to Scott. Pyrus27570 says, tell Scott I said hi. He knows who I am.
Yeah, that's Christian.
Oh, okay. Very good.
That's my youngest son. He's listening right now.
Nice. Well, salute. Good to have you in the chat there, Christian, watching
Hey,
the
buddy.
show. Do you have the actual feed over there so you can see the chat or no?
No, I don't see it.
On this second computer over here,
Right?
you're watching the restream feed,
Yes.
but the other tab is the actual show feed. See, there's
Okay.
two tabs open.
Yeah.
So you could toggle back and forth periodically.
Okay.
So there we go. Anyways, all right. Disclaimers out of the way. Everything else. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody out there. My shirt is actually green. Cool. It's green. And Larry thinks wearing this light camo just justifies St. Patrick's Day. And Teddy got all uppity with me. He's like, I wore green on Saturday where the party was real.
That was just basically how I
He's
felt.
like, he's like,
That was my St. Patrick's Day.
That's
Yeah.
green.
Are you colorblind?
That's green.
Wow.
I actually looked for green. I'm
not Irish enough. Gray,
I got
blue.
Ireland football, which is not football, it's soccer.
I got something I'm wearing that's green, but I can't show what it is.
Your undies?
Yeah.
Don't show us. Don't
Yeah,
show.
okay, all right. I just wanted to prove that I did wear green.
Okay. I appreciate
You take
that.
my word for it, though.
Hey, I can go get a tie out of the box, a St. Patty's Day tie out of the
There you go.
All the batteries are dead though. Oh yeah. What Cheryl baked? Oh, she baked some corned beef today and said it was awesome. That's what Dale's saying. Dude, they brought the cowboy beans. You know what they call them? Cowboy beans?
Oh, really? That was,
The big pot of beans.
That was Dale?
That was Dale and Cheryl.
Nice.
Yeah.
They were good.
Dude, it was perfect.
I didn't even realize
and
that
then the
was
shepherd's pie, everything, and they came a little later, so it was great. It was a good party. How many songs did you sing during?
I can't even
the period?
remember. I can't even remember.
You're up there for a while, buddy.
Oh, everyone was up there for a while.
You were
It
getting
was like
crazy.
4 or 5.
Right?
That's probably right.
But it really surprised me because he was singing way out of his generation and doing a killer job.
Nice. I'm surprised.
Teddy-
I'm more surprised that my brother did a song, or he did a couple songs.
Teddy is like the oldest 23-year-old I've ever met. He's like,
Yeah, he was
I'll
killing
sing
it.
some Sinatra.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Did you do
I did Little River Band.
oh yeah.
I did 10cc.
Oh, I came up with saying with that.
Yeah,
one.
yeah, you.
Yeah, I
and
love
then
that
We
one.
all did a Piano Man,
Yes.
and my buddy Michael did a good job with the gambling one. Forget what that one.
Oh, the gamble, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember some of that because I was back behind the bar sometimes.
and then
tending to
Dale's
stuff.
Behind the bar or under the bar?
Oh no.
Dale says Larry missed out.
Yeah.
Larry missed out. Hang on.
Teddy isn't old, so
Oh, really?
Larry missed
Larry's
out.
excuse was that he forgot. So take that with.
Yes, I went to a parade with Christina Like, and then I went to dinner with my brother and sister-in-law. You met Ed, remember?
Mhm.
And then me and my wife went home. I completely forgot about the party.
Thank you, Larry.
I'm so sorry.
He forgot
So
completely.
I'm sorry.
There was any time there should have been a "How dare you" soundboard. I could have just pressed that.
You know, we used to have that when we switched it to the other computer. We lost some of the
when I have time, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
come
gotta
here on a
fix it.
different day and
You gotta
add a
fix it.
bunch of new sound stuff.
Exactly.
We need a whole Biden board, honestly. Like,
We
come
do.
on, man. Like, look, Pat. Here's
You
the deal.
do. Listen, man.
You know what I miss
You're a
is,
dog-faced pony soldier.
is the one about they took the top of my head off to see if I had a brain.
Oh yeah.
That was my favorite. They took the top of his head off and found a septic tank.
It took top of my head off. That's 54 states, man. Come on, man.
We won in 2018. We won in 54 states.
So yeah, it was a good party.
Good turnout.
I was gonna click on a couple people. There was a lot of people that I asked them to do videos, and a bunch of people posted videos. Dale was, but you're Christian and his wife Emily.
Olivia.
I was close. She was taking videos on her phone, on your phone, and he was taking videos on his phone.
Yeah, something like that. I know on my phone, I posted, I think the second set, it's about 50 minutes.
Okay.
So that's on my feed if you go look for it.
Let me see. Let's just go see. Oh, there. Oh, he took a picture of the. He took a picture of the booth tonight. Check that out. You guys out there in the. See that?
Yep.
Look at that. Bam.
Yeah,
Picture.
people just think it's sitting around and, one camera. There's a lot that goes into this. It's really cool.
That's wild, dude.
Yep. There is your control board.
That's the control board. Yes.
Excellence in broadcasting.
That is
Right?
the helm that drives the ship.
Yeah, and with Scott's over there helping me now, but normally you saw that little tablet that was there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Let me see if we can. Precision control. Did you see how I did that? Brought that down?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
just
was
nice.
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 It's about time you did something right.
Every once in a great while, I got some skills. Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
75% of the time, it works every time. Every time. So St. Patrick's Day and the party we had on Saturday was a good turnout. What would you say, Teddy, Scott? What did we have, about 45, 50 people maybe?
Yeah, I'd say pretty close to 40.
Yeah, around that.
Okay.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. I thought it was a great turnout. We had good
It
stuff.
looked like more because you were running around like a chicken with your head cut off.
And they would get pictures of me like in one spot, and then there would be a streak, and they would be in the other spot.
Mm-hmm.
So it
No,
looked
that
like
was
two
you.
people.
That was you.
Yeah, it would look like two people. Yeah. So it was good times. Good times. Good turnout. I had a lot of people that texted and said they were under the weather and just couldn't make it, which is crazy. But we've had some crazy weather. I got that in the notes for later. All right.
So
Joe Farkas.
you're gonna do a recap of Sunday.
Well, I wanted from your perspective, just give us, but start with your history. You took a bunch of notes.
Yeah,
You got
okay.
more notes than I do. Dude.
I came prepared,
I expect nothing less.
and so let me just say this from the get-go: anything that I accomplish or get credit for doing is it's all Jesus. Jesus Christ caught me at my worst moment and turned me around, and I give him all the praise for allowing me to do whatever it is I've done.
Yeah.
And so when I go through some of these notes, it's not about me, but I want to give you kind of a background.
But you were obedient to do,
Yes.
follow.
Yep.
So what do you got for
So
us, buddy?
my purpose for recruiting precinct delegates was twofold. First of all,
Oh yeah, let me give people the setup. So on Sunday we talked about the Delegates Bill of Rights, which is for some reason has some controversial dynamics around it. Which when I did the show, I'm like, I don't see it, but there's people. I think the power gets up there. But Joe, you've been involved in recruiting delegates and helping delegates for a long, long time. You were there. I went out of my way I wasn't part of any movement, and I went out of my way to become a delegate, and actually found out, and Megan actually signed me up. But you were one of the first people that I met after I was elected in the parking lot there.
wasn't that great?
Dude, it was what, 50, 60 people right there or more?
Oh, no. There had to be, well, at least 50, 60 people.
Yeah.
And so what I did is with the people that I recruited, I told them, don't go inside the convention hall, stay outside, and I'll meet you outside, because I didn't want them to be misled or get lost or something. So
Yeah.
I thought, we'll meet outside. Wasn't that an awesome group of people?
It was
And
excellent.
so I pull up, my wife says, oh, we're going to be late. I said, no, we'll make it. We made it right on those 6 o'clock, as I'm prone to do. And my knees were knocking, because I go, oh, what do I do now? what do I
got
tell all
these
these
looking at
people
me.
here?
Yeah.
So that was a little unnerving, but that was a great memory. That'll stick with me forever. But anyway, my purpose for recruiting precinct delegates was twofold. One, my goal has always been to recruit capable and solid Christians to public office. And I look back to whatever I was able, the small part I played with Pat Kobeck and his successful runs for two-term state senator, and Jason Mulford today, and others that I strongly believe that was what we needed more of, solid Christian leaders. And number two, our country was coming apart at the seams with Joe Biden being in office, and we were headed over the cliff. And I thought, you know what? If we don't recruit strong America First delegates, that's what we need. This is no time to waver and kind of go along to get along, or be involved for the wrong reason. We needed committed, strong America First folks.
Yeah.
And that rubbed people, the wrong way. Some people the wrong way.
Well, a lot of people didn't like the Tea Party movement. They didn't like a lot of the other movements that have tried to reclaim a foothold of we the people away from the entrenched establishments.
And that effort on part of the volunteers, myself, a number of the county commissioners thanked me for our efforts in recruiting America First folks that voted and helped put them in office.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't always been conservative.
Right. It's Larry's statement at the beginning of the show. It's constitutional Livingston County, because we've got 9 great commissioners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it wasn't always the case.
Right.
So I appreciate those compliments and other compliments as well.
How long have you been out there recruiting and knocking doors, Joe? How many years?
Oh, well, I've been involved politically since 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good 15-year run.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Joe have worked together a lot for how long?
Yeah.
I mean, we go back to 2019, maybe.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And so the compliments are nice, but and I appreciate them, but my main concern is, and I hang my hat on this one scripture, pride cometh before a fall.
Okay.
And with these compliments, sure, I felt a little puffed up and, hey, I feel honored to be on the show tonight, right?
But you're not getting cocky about it, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I don't like to brag.
Yeah, but he does get to come to the
Yeah.
show and hang out with me.
Yeah.
And he
That's-
likes that.
That's
So-
the highlight of his evenings, hanging out with you, Larry.
But in all honesty, I can tell you that if it wasn't for me literally being on my knees and seeking the Lord and saying, Jesus, what would you have me do? And keep me level-headed.
Yeah.
Without that dynamic,
Yeah.
I'm done for. And so because I strongly believe in that.
Yeah.
It kept me even keel.
Yeah.
I could easily, now if I was running for office and I got elected, and say I got elected to House rep or even a county position, county chair or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how well I would handle that, to be honest with you. And that's part of the reason, a man's got to know his limitations, right?
Yes.
And so I said, you know what? I don't know how I would handle that. I'm good at doing the grunt work, I guess, recruiting
Mhm.
and getting the delegates. But as far as taking a position of influence, real influence, I don't know how I would deal. So I'm not going to be too hard on folks, but I would say that too many people get involved in politics for the wrong reason. And that's where the problem lies.
Mhm.
They're in it for their social club, for the money, for
Their
the
ego.
power, for
Yeah.
being recognized, right? And finding capable and integrity-filled servants to go to Lansing or Washington or serve their county is it's not easy. And so to be that's the nub of the problem. If you really want to get to the source of the problem and how you deal with that human frailty,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And that is the secret and that's what I loved about Pat Colbeck. Yeah, there's not a shred of lack of integrity in his bones.
Right.
Solid Christian man, brilliant. And, I was the county coordinator for his run for governor for Livingston County,
Okay.
and really dejected that he didn't do
Better.
than what he did, though he did win in Livingston County.
Okay.
And I felt terrible about that. But he lost, he didn't become governor, but now what he is doing is it seems to me he's spearheading the election integrity situation, not just here in Michigan, but in many parts of the country. So he's, I think, serving even a much bigger role than if he was governor.
Yeah.
And so that's
So
my
That's your
story,
recap?
and I'm sticking to it.
awesome. So you watched the show on Sunday, obviously talking about the Delegates' Bill of Rights.
Well, I listened to most of it. I couldn't get all of it because I was having
Rumble was
issues
fighting.
with Rumble fighting
Yeah.
me.
Rumble's getting ridiculous sometimes, but we're doing good tonight so far. Apparently, are we doing all right? No
We're all good.
major glitches. So Joe, you worked a lot with delegates, and you were a mother hen, being protective. First time I ever met you. How, contrary to some other opinions out there, how important are delegates?
Oh, the statements that have been made that downplay the role of precinct delegate couldn't be further from the truth. Precinct delegates, they're at the base of government.
Yeah.
Local government, that's where politics starts.
Yes.
That's certainly true with precinct delegates. Now, what do precinct delegates do? They do a number of things. Number one, they vote at conventions,
Mhm.
state conventions, and
Yep.
in Michigan, they elect the Attorney General, Secretary of State, and other judgeships or
Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
Yeah.
does
Lieutenant governors. Yep.
lieutenant governor. And so they do that. They also go out to their neighborhoods and talk to the folks in their sphere and in their neighborhood.
Isn't it supposed to be one delegate per 100 voters? Is that the ratio?
That I couldn't tell you. That
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but they're out
It's
there.
supposed to be, but it's that's part of what we talked about on Sunday is that there's a lot of leadership that's trying to dwindle those numbers down because it's more controllable if they don't have as many people.
And thank you for saying that, because I am going to toot the volunteers horn. And just to give you a perspective on what we did in 22, in 2020, there are 478 or 479 possible precinct delegate positions.
479
479, okay.
in Livingston County.
In Livingston County, okay. And so in 2020, they recruited 285 or 286. I don't know right to but it's in the 285.
Okay. These were new.
These are precinct delegate positions that were filled out of 478.
And this is in 2020.
In 2020.
Okay.
In 2022, when we were doing it, we recruited 409 precinct delegates.
Okay.
And that's just in Livingston County. We recruited hundreds of people outside
What was
the
it?
Livingston
Two
County.
what?
It was 285 in 20.
Okay.
In 22, it was 409 when
So
we were
you
doing
guys,
it.
through your efforts, brought in 100 and whatever the difference is.
Right. And then in 2024, they brought in 300. So that's where we were at.
Yeah. And
So-
didn't we only have 116 that showed up for county convention?
Right. And so what the problem is that we got precinct delegates we recruited them and filled those spots. Where it came up short is the leadership and and I thought, including myself, could have run, but we needed somebody. I thought we would, as we recruited people, we would find a few leaders within that recruitment that would run for the chair or the co-chair. We did all right as far as the executive committee.
Yeah.
But as far as the
Well, and
chair,
that's the other thing that people don't realize with delegates. Delegates are the ones that do elect all of these local positions in the county party.
right? They fill the executive committee.
Mm-hmm.
They vote for the chair and the co-chair.
But when they get disenfranchised and they get marginalized and they get told that they're really not that important or they have obstacles. I know one of my big complaints when I walked in the door was, where is the education? Where is the teach me how to be an effective delegate, hone in on my skill set and help me be the best at this position.
Yeah.
And so I just defaulted back to doing my podcast. And if we had Larry primarily spearheaded bringing different candidates on the show and we just tried to inform the people through the podcast.
Well, actually, and I can say this, that is part of what I did and what myself and the volunteers did is I did send out a format, a platform that told you from A to Z everything you wanted to know about precinct delegates.
Right.
I also held meetings
Right.
to help educate folks. So
you, as a not somebody in charge of the party, took it upon yourself to try and educate people that the party should have educated.
to recruit, educate, administration, communication.
What position were you holding other than being a delegate yourself when you were doing all this?
That was it. That's what I was doing.
Isn't that what the party should have been spearheading?
Yeah.
Just
And
throwing that out there.
So that was setting aside, and that's why I owe my wife a great debt of gratitude, because she would come into my home office and say, well, what are we doing today and this and that? And it might be 4:30 literally in the morning where my head's buried in things that I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why I haven't pursued beyond what I've done.
Right.
But anyway, I only share that because I want to give a background to where I'm coming from.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, anyway, as far as the precinct delegates role,
Yeah,
it's absolute paramount that we encourage precinct delegates more rather than defame them and minimize them.
and that was part of what Sunday's show was talking about, was a delegates Bill of Rights, so that it was clear what their role, what their position was, and they couldn't be undermined by leadership or other dynamics to try and control them, because precinct delegates do serve a very important role. We're the first line of the ground game.
Right. And the thing is, these are volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so they're going out
paid. So why would you want to piss them off? When I get people that volunteer and help me out for free, I can't do enough for them.
Right.
I'm like, can I, I'll make sure I'm on feet up, even the podcast. One of the things I do is always cook, almost always. Right.
Right.
Because least I can do. You're coming.
That's your way. You're showing your appreciation.
Show my gratitude.
Yeah. And the thing is, I had my volunteers showed up at 8:00 in the morning at churches to recruit.
Ready to go.
They went to rallies where we might just recruit 1 or 2 people from that rally in Lansing, if you remember the rallies in Lansing. Where Trump rally, we were out there in Macomb County, recruited a number of people. And we recruited not only Livingston County, but we recruited 260 delegates in total.
Okay.
Statewide.
Okay.
And so the volunteers are out there and they would do, and I can't emphasize how much these people meant to me personally, the sacrifices that they would make, and they go out there and it's freezing out, and they would be out there collecting, getting names and emails and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so that to me is the best part of everything that I've been involved in, the people. And there's still a number of people, and I look when I go to different meetings, they're still out there trying to do what they can do.
Yeah.
But when they're minimized like that, they get discouraged. And
you're being very nice about that, and I appreciate that, Joe. So it's very important. We've got to get people back involved. And I love what the guys had to say on Sunday, that I said, what's the reason? You're not just political animals. And they said, and I pressed them a little bit, and I said, you're business owners. 2 of the gentlemen, one was retired, but the other 2 gentlemen were business owners. And I said, how important is that? But they said, bottom line, same as you. They said, bottom line, this is what the Lord's mandate is on us. Until he tells us otherwise, we're going to keep pursuing this. And bottom line is, and I think it was Sean who was sitting in the middle, he said, it's my kids. He goes, I want to know that I'm leaving my kids something, and right now the party's in shambles and the country's in shambles.
Yeah.
As much as we want to stick a Band-Aid on it, there's a lot of, if our founding fathers were here today, this country would have been overthrown.
Absolutely.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, we're fighting with the state just on the fact that they want to tell us when they're going to put in solar panels. They just want to go completely around any local control.
Right.
I mean, completely against what constitutional dynamics, of our founding fathers, of we the people.
Yeah. And that's another role that the precinct delegates play.
Yeah.
In communicating the citizens' point of view, and they're addressing their concerns to their local politicians.
Right.
And politicians that should
you go walk the street and you knock a bunch of doors and you're getting feedback from people. Then you go to the local party and you go, hey guys, look, this is what I'm hearing.
And
this is what's going on.
Exactly. And they're out supporting politicians.
Right.
With their money, time, and treasure.
Yeah.
I could on and on about the role of a precinct delegate, and for somebody to denigrate that, they're ignorant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and they have an agenda of wanting to be in that controlling faction that, I'm going to put you little people in your place. Well, you know what? This country is founded on we the people.
Right. Exactly.
Each one of us is sovereign. Each one of us a king of his own domain, and I mean, that's why the 9th and 10th are so powerful. when the 9th and 10th, you know, where are my glasses at? Tiny font. Power is not delegated to the United States. No, number 9. The enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. It doesn't say by citizens. It doesn't say by people with a social security number. It doesn't say by the states. It says by the people.
Yep.
Just because it's enumerating here doesn't mean it's to disparage or deny other rights. And they've done everything. I mean, the biggest one we have is the what's the seizure? The
search and seizure, the 5th?
No. The eminent domain clause. Well, I was trying to think of the exact name. But they've used that as the basis. Government has, the federal government in particular, has used that as the basis to use encroachment for everything. That I'm trying to think of its article, whatever article it is, but it's one of those. It's like it's on a slippery slope. Yeah. But then the 10th Amendment, power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution. Delegated. It's even in there, the idea of a delegate.
Yeah.
You know, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. And it's always been the people. They've tried to change us into citizens. They've tried to tell us we're a democracy. They try to do all these things to
what? We're not a democracy?
Yeah, and you would think on a local level, when I got involved, I'm like, okay, I'm excited. We're going to be involved and have an influence. And then you start to see the inner working. I hear so many people. The Fifth
Amendment.
No, but there's an article about eminent domain.
I wouldn't know that one then.
Yeah, there's I'm trying to think of it. We talked about it. But that idea, when people they get behind the scenes and they get disenfranchised, and I'm like,
it started from day one.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And so these people get they get a sense of the stench, and
Yes.
they want to volunteer. They want to make a difference.
100%.
They want to be engaged.
Yep.
But they do not want to be part of the stench. And that's where we came up short.
Yeah. And we saw that big flood of people in 2022, right after the election was stolen.
Yeah.
And people came out in mass and they're like, this is ridiculous. And then you can't say otherwise. When I ran for a delegate the first time there in 2002, there were 11 of us running for 7 spots. When I ran again in 2024,
it was reversed.
4
for
7 spots.
Yep.
Because people were like, I saw behind the curtain and the wizard doesn't even have any pants on.
But there's still a good number of delegates that came on board back then that they're still donating their time, talent, and treasure.
Yeah.
And still trying to stay engaged. But there's always, you got to always deal with an agenda. You're always fighting uphill battle.
And you know what? Agendas are fine if it's upfront and it's honest and it's open what your agenda is. But when I have an agenda, I want people to know their purpose and walk out who God created them to be. That's my agenda. So that's my underlying thing. But when you have an agenda and you're like, oh, I want to control these group of people and I want to do this or I want to, dude, I'm not. What you got, Larry?
The powers of eminent domain come from the 5th Amendment.
Oh, is this?
Yeah, no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless a presentment of indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life and limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
Yes.
All right. The 5th Amendment provision.
Look up public use constitution and see if it gives you another entry other than the 5th Amendment. But you're right. Yeah. And that's what they've said is the public use dynamic is they keep seizing different things for public use.
Yeah. And it does say without just compensation.
It's just the public use is a legal requirement in the takings clause of the Fifth Amendment.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I
that-
thought
and
for sure
that's-
there was another.
Yeah, it says here that the Supreme
Well,
wait a minute. The Supreme Court stated that when the powers of eminent domain is exercised, it can only be done by giving a party whose property is taken or whose use and enjoyment of such property is interfered with full and adequate compensation, not excessive or exorbitant, but just compassion.
Yeah, and so what'll
Just
happen is
compensation.
Excuse me,
a
just
corporational
compensation,
approach
sorry.
public officials. The public officials will go to a property owner, seize their land, give them hopefully fair market value, and then turn it over to a corporate person because they deemed that it was something that was good for public use. And then it may sit vacant. I've seen it multiple times.
Mhm.
Well, Tanya's mom, their family owned part of the Pictured Rocks. They came in through eminent domain, took the property away from them, paid them whatever, it wasn't right. And now the area that they owned when they owned it, it was maintained. It was kept.
Mhm.
Most of the time when the government takes over, what happens?
No, they screw up everything they
It turns
touch.
to shit.
Yeah.
So it's this crazy.
it's power.
It is. That's
It's
what they want.
love of power. And if I can, something else that you mentioned on Sunday, your podcast,
Yeah.
and I might get, we'll see what you think about it. As far as the point regarding getting folks elected that have an R in front of their name, before their name,
Yeah.
so that we don't elect a Democrat. And while I'm all for that, for the Democrat not getting in, I think sometimes in some cases that process sets our party and our morality standards backwards. Because with a Democrat, you know what you're getting.
The devil,
With a Republican, that is not always the case.
Yeah.
And by electing a weaker Republican, which is the problem with our open primaries in Michigan,
Yep.
they have us pick our weakest candidate.
Yes.
And over time, all we do is end up eroding our standards and do more damage.
And it causes division. We have to have arguments and debates over it. And that's part of the House divided, is because we're arguing over this shitty candidate and who should have voted and who shouldn't have voted. When the reality is, there should have been a better. They just primaried out Eye Patch McCain down there in Texas. Okay. What the fuck's his real name? Crenshaw, Dan Crenshaw. All right. He's been horrible the entire time. Well, they just primaried him out. So
why do they call him Eye Patch McCain if his name is Crenshaw?
Because he's got an
He
eye
wears
patch
a
and he
patch.
operates just like John McCain did.
Oh.
He's a warmonger, warhawk who will attack anybody.
He's a former Navy SEAL too.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that where he lost his?
Yeah. Yeah, he lost it in combat.
Yeah,
But-
I've seen him more than once just go after hardcore.
Well, he's been here to Livingston County. Megan Reckling brought him
I'm
to
sorry.
Livingston County.
Yeah.
He has a
To
horrible
a
track record.
fundraiser. From what I understand, he's a rhino.
Yeah, he's got a horrible record.
Yeah.
He's whatever money he can get. Yeah, that's why he got primaried out.
So you see this process over the years where we get the McCains and the Romneys and the Snyders because we settle for less rather than saying we're standing firm, and if our morality costs us the vote, then our push for morality, it's too much and the system can't take it and we lose. Well, then we lose, but that should cause us to work even harder to
Do you think,
get
Joe,
the right people.
Do you think that when tyranny rises in one form or another, that it wakes more people up?
Yeah,
When a Democrat gets in because our party put up a shitty other candidate,
right?
Does it wake more people up or put more people to sleep?
Did it wake more people up with Biden?
100%.
That's my point.
People came in 2022 in mass.
Yeah.
You know,
they did. And what we did, the volunteers and I did in Livingston County, was replicated throughout the country. And that's why we got the results. Part of the reason we got the results that we got this past cycle.
Yeah.
And so I would say this, that the precinct delegates have their work cut out for them, because if we don't get out there, and they don't get out there and talk to their neighbors and remain engaged, these midterms are so very important. And we lose these midterms, we'll take us back to caveman.
It's just like if Hillary would have gotten in or Kamala would have gotten in, you know, it's horrible. But you had, I mean, I'm disagreeing with a bunch of things that President Trump is doing right now. But I still believe he's the right man for the job. And I'm praying that God corrects some of the directions that are being taken. But I still, you know, support Trump. I don't support all of his decisions, but the bottom line is, there's only so many things you can do, and we've talked about it. You know, there's 40 to 45% people that are declared independents right now. Well, how do you recruit those people, and how do you? So if you're not putting up a Trumpian type candidate that has a somewhat larger than life personality that's going to attract people,
right?
And then you put up a candidate that is. I mean, people can smell establishment candidates from a mile away. Right. They know when somebody's just bought and paid for, and they've got big money backing them, you know. And when you do get somebody that slips through, like, you know, as a rarity like Tudor Dixon, she got all of the established. She got the endorsement Trump. She got the Trump endorsement. She got the establishment money. And then as soon as she got the primary win, because they of course arrested Ryan Kelly, you know, and threw him in jail. So she gets the endorsement. She gets the big money donors.
Yeah.
As soon as she secured the primary, all the money was gone.
And
they didn't sit down with her and say, "All right, you're going to be in a debate against this, you know, Witchmer who's you know going to cast a spell on you while you're in there." You know?
Right.
So be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. How you get in there and speak. And she had some clear misspeaks and some, you know, foibles where she tripped over her own words.
Yeah, Whitmer had the experience of doing what she.
Yeah, manipulate it.
Yeah,
it's casting a spell. It's doing that. You're casting a spell when you're in there talking, and these people are really good at it. They call it what's the term I'm trying to think of? It'll come to me in a second.
Well, just. You mentioned agenda, and that's one of my pet peeves, that people can be in office, in the county, state, whatever, and they can appear to be doing a good job.
Yeah.
But if their agenda goes against what is in our best interest, what I strongly believe is our best interest.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I can to negate that voice.
Right.
And so you can appear to be doing a good job. I'm repeating myself, but you can be doing more damage and misleading people. And the primary people I'm thinking of are precinct delegates.
Yeah. And isn't it?
And I'm not mentioning any names, but
right. Yeah, we know. We've been behind the curtain, you and Joe. Actually, you, me, and Larry have been behind the curtain. So it's just rich. I want to get your quick observation on what we're talking about with delegates, Teddy, at 20, the tender age of 23, just thinking about all of this political dynamics, because we commonly call you Black Pill Teddy because you don't even want to take a step to get involved in that dynamic. But you have a very strong political opinion. You're well educated as far as you look at subjects and you educate yourself on it. So I want to just in response to, I know you didn't get a chance to watch the whole show on Sunday either, but just part of the conversation that Joe's bringing forth about how much he's working to bring people in, and then looking at it from your perspective of a lot more hopelessness than hopefulness in your future because of the current trajectory of the country.
Well, you know, some people are saying Trump's the best we have and all that, and we need more Trumpian people. But
Yeah.
no matter what we vote for at this point, last couple of weeks, all we're going to get is someone like John McCain. No matter who we vote for, we're just going to get someone like.
And that's the black. That's the black pill dynamic of. I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying that's where you come from, black pill, because you're like, dude, I'm 23 and I can see that this, it's meet the new boss,
and
same as the old boss.
As for the delegates, number one, in government school or government class, we weren't talking about like how we were talking about political parties and all that, and primaries. We're not talking about delegates and how they function and how.
So
the
no
parties
government civics class.
No proper civics class, I would say.
Nothing. No, we're going to teach DEI
and number two,
gender training.
Number two, not a lot of people my age care about the Republican or Democrat Party or even want to participate in that, because
I think your demographic is 45% at least.
Yeah, it's up
independent
there.
or not declared.
because like I said, most of it just comes from ignorance. Like I didn't, I'm going to be honest, I didn't really know about parties having delegates and all that until like I heard about it on this show.
Yeah,
because you guys are delegates,
right?
And I know a friend of mine became a delegate in Genesee County.
Okay.
I didn't even know you could like run for that, or
you didn't even know because you're not taught that. So it's
and then my other thing is that I've had you got Joe's asked me I should be involved. I should maybe try and be a delegate, like when first time I was on the show with him, and other people have said that I should get involved and be a delegate, but I don't care for the Republican Party. I really don't. If the Republican Party withered away and died, I wouldn't care. Same would go with the Democrat Party. They don't. You can even see that in our own Livingston County GOP with just how awful the leadership is and how their priorities. So why what. And you could say, well, just go in there and change, everything. You can go in there and change everything from the inside. Well, you kind of need to have elite backing with that. You need to have actual power, structure and power behind that.
Or a huge drive. You're going to school full time.
Yep.
You're working, when you're not going to school.
Mm-hmm.
There's many times when you've called off because you had a paper due or something like that.
Yep.
You're out there trying to grind away and establish a future for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at it going, why would I invest my time in something that I've seen other people disenfranchised in?
Yeah. And a lot of people are just like, in general, if the country is like, okay, what has the empire, I'm just thinking like society, what has the empire done for me really in the last 20 years? We have crippling debt. We have everything keeps going up.
Inflation.
That's
another form of taxation.
Can't afford to buy a home.
Can't afford to buy a home,
right.
And as a lot of people are just seeing, and we're probably going to get into this more with a lot of different angles, especially this administration, that there are a lot of the priorities are way opposite of what they should.
We started out
and I said that too. We first couple of months are great, and then we lost the momentum.
Yeah.
There's the momentum just. And it's just not.
We might lose more than momentum.
Well, in terms of the midterms, I'm not going to vote because if you want me to vote for keeping you in power in Congress and all that, and not having Democrats, you have to actually have results.
I wonder. Larry and I'll go back and forth in private phone calls and talk about this. He just hates slacking, and I get it 100%. She's a horrible piece of work. So it's a very very raw subject to him. So I get it when we have these discussions, and I try not to disparage him but there's a lot more people that are the number one demographic of people that don't engage in voting, period. Farmers and hunters
and gun owners.
And they're the ones that should be the biggest ones, but they're like, until it personally affects me, they don't want to be involved because they've seen too much corruption. Like you're looking at, Teddy. It's like, it's corrupt no matter where I look. It's a uniparty.
And when we're going more in the show, I'll kind of further explain my reasoning, especially nowadays with these backwards priorities. And I know a couple people are.
Ella's getting after you.
Yeah, Ella's getting after me. I'm not a Republican. I'm right wing, but I'm not a Republican. There's a big.
Isn't it the same thing that Kennedy said? RFK Jr. He said, "I didn't leave the Democrat Party; they left me." You know, you still hold those values that they claim,
Mhm.
but then you watch the corruption and you watch the slide and you watch them disenfranchise people and you watch them put up shitty candidates
Well, if you just watch,
that have no hope
if you-
in the first place.
I think I understand your point of view, and I'll illustrate it this way. I went to, I think it was the first or second state convention,
Mhm.
and there was somebody up there speaking about, looked like he'd been there 40 years, and I'm thinking, you know, what have you accomplished? Look at the mess we're in.
Right.
So don't toot your horn too loud, but he's up there, hey, are we all good Republicans? And I yelled out, no, we're good conservatives. You could hear a pin drop,
Right.
you know, and that's what you're saying.
Mhm.
That
Yes, you
the
hold the
Republicans, for the most part, are gutless.
The Republican
Wonders.
Party is just a rotten, corrupt institution, just as much as the Democratic Party is, and as the government and the system is.
Yeah.
Well, and Larry,
And when you can look at the SAVE Act too, if you know, it's
That's
a
on the
simple,
table
it's
today.
a simple, you know, we'll get in that later, but it's a simple. You need voter ID, and what are the Republicans doing? Doing what they always do.
yep, they're fighting. They're
They're
fighting it. They don't want to bring it to the floor. Well, and Larry we like to play the quote from Slotkin. What's her quote?
Party before country, always.
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 And it gets to be that way in the Republican Party too, is we don't care about morality and integrity. You better vote with the party or you're not a good Republican or you're not a good conservative. And I go, we're starting to do the same culty things, and yet we're more divided. I mean, the liberals will get together over anything that has a demonic sticker over it. So they don't give a shit.
Well, they're instructed to vote. You vote this way, the way you're told, or don't ever expect to get money to get reelected. Where
Correct.
they're like walking zombies. They just
Yeah.
tell robots.
Right. And their constituents are mostly mindless people who just are looking for the next handout.
And another thing about the which I found out is that a lot of the people on the state level, a lot of Democrats are what a neighborhood what do they call them, where they're out there trying to rile the people up and get their point across, where the
Community organizers?
community organizers.
You mean like Acorn and
a number of, you'd be
Yeah.
amazed the number of that I would put under that category, neighborhood organizers, where on the Republican side, you find business people. The majority of them are business people. And so you can see the Democratic Party, if you're told to fall in line, where there's so many facets of the Republican Party that they're always
it's so factioned. And that's why I titled tonight, it's a house divided, man. It's like we can't even get together and agree on the simplest things, you know. And we're gonna play a clip from
well, the main problem with the Republican Party is that it's basically a liberal 90s liberal party at this point, right? And the rhinos at this point are just liberals in the 2000s, maybe 2010s, like liberal-minded people.
Yeah.
And we have a very few people that are actually right-wing conservative, as you could say.
Isn't it amazing?
And we've been seeing them lately being chased out, ostracized in favor of
whoever the establishment can get to go along with them.
And we'll go into this later, but we're seeing right now the kind of end of MAGA where it's being co-opted into this neocon husk.
Right.
And you're right on, Teddy. I love your insight, especially not being on the inner workings from time to time. You're spot on. And that's why we didn't just recruit delegates in 22, we recruited America First delegates.
Correct. And that's why I wanted Teddy's perspective, is because this is the youth. He's not atypical. He's not out of the mainstream of youth. Now, granted, somebody said in the chat, plain truth that the youth has lost Christ. I understand that. Our age, but there's been a huge resurgence. But our group, our age group just wants to be on their phones and continue life without any impact or any interest. Now, I will push back a little bit on that statement, because Teddy's not that person. being on his phone and not wanting. Dude, he's going to school to be a history teacher because he wants to influence, but he wants people to understand the history. That's why I lean back on him and I'll ask him about history. He's 23 with an agenda of, I want to be an educator. If that pathway is open for me, he wants to be an educator. He's not on his phone just mindlessly doing. He works his ass off at work and he works his ass off writing his papers at school. So when I ask him his opinion, he may be as black-pilled as you get in his response, but that's genuine from his heart based on what he's experiencing in life. He's got student debts that he's piling up, right?
Not really, no.
Or you get some.
I pay. I don't.
You pay as you go.
No, I pay as I go. Yeah, I don't have any.
So he's working his ass off even more for that.
Absolutely.
In a system that we know has long left behind the actual students, and you got to go through a bunch of minutia just to get to a degree. That he's not going for basket weaving.
Right.
You're majoring in what? History and
basically it's an education degree.
Okay.
Is it in your search to get your degree in politics? Do you find a lot of revisionist go? The truth isn't told, and the kids today are not taught. It's all revisionist history. Do you find that to be the case?
I would say so far, I'm kind of getting into what, like, recently, like for classes, like what the state is requiring.
Yeah.
So I don't have that much information like to go off of that yet. But I would say if you were really interested in like a deep dive, starting into a deep dive, just look up Michigan Social Studies K-12 standards.
Well, now you said you were never taught proper civics in school.
Well, there was a government class, but they didn't really go into. There was, they taught the basics, but it wasn't like
I had
how you could again, if you really wanted to know all that, I guess, like, getting involved in whatever party. I mean, there's the Young Republican and Young Democrat Club back when
we've had a few of the Young Republicans on here, and they're phenomenal. They're great. I think we had them on a month and a half ago or something like that, and they're great, and they're exuberant, and they're fighting, but they're fighting the same battle,
Right.
And so, but you even mentioned it, that there was no civics classes. I went to a private Christian school in the late 80s, graduated in 91. I didn't have I had Americanism versus communism. That was one of my classes because we were in the midst of that. I was there in school when the wall fell in Berlin.
Right.
Larry was probably over there.
No, that's already back.
I'm fucking with you, Larry.
I kind of wanted to. Sorry.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to add to what Pyrus was saying about.
Because I want to see a second.
He says, seeing what school was like in a big city like San Antonio, it was astonishing how many people my age a few years ago that just didn't care, or if they did quote unquote care, it was from what they were told. But I wanted to kind of go back on what he was saying about have lost Christ.
Yeah.
I think that's more of an institutional issue in the since the 60s, because we have
because the churches have been co-opted.
The churches, a lot of the main
message.
We have a lot of the mainline Protestant churches, for example, become liberal. We had Vatican II for the Catholic Church, and a lot of that has been liberal or not strong catechism.
Right.
When I went to catechism, it was just basically like how they did was like Protestant, like they taught like it was like a Protestant, or they wouldn't really teach you about Catholic doctrine or anything like that.
Okay.
And then I would say too, this is just my opinion, that a lot of the new churches we have, like the mega churches and all that, just not really.
They shuffle you in, get a good message, and shuffle you out.
It's like more of like I would say it's a tax exempt community center where you go in, you have the rock music, and you have like a nice little message, but they don't. I get some people, that's some people's thing, and that's cool.
Teddy wants those hymns when he goes in. I know he's an old soul.
No, you know what? I love his perspective.
Yeah. Well, that's why I turned it to
him.
But
in general too, just like, but those churches are this kind of, I guess, conservative strongholds that are left, really. I mean, every time, it's like with the Methodist Church recently, every time the liberals take over, just people, conservatives in that church don't fight back. They just form a new branch, and it just.
I've got a buddy right now that well, I can't say who it is, but I've got a real close friend of mine right now. And I asked him the other day, I said, hey, did you go to church today? And he goes, I haven't been back for, I think he said like 6 months. Yeah. He's been back twice in 6 months. And I said, I'm like, really? Because he's posting on Facebook. He's a very strong believer, right? And he said the message coming from the pulpit just gets more and more liberal each week, and I can't take just straight up liberal, and it's one thing for us to have a discussion about the things we disagree with, what's going on with the Trump administration. It's another thing if we just came out with a liberal view and said Trump is the worst president. No, I think he's the best president in my lifetime. Okay. Doesn't mean I agree with every step and everything he's doing. All right. That's just us holding him accountable. It doesn't mean we hate Trump. No, but right now I disagree with some of his major moves.
So
that's my prerogative.
And, I just want to say one more thing and just about American churches like that too, is that it's all about, they push a individual kind of thing with, they push where it's like, it's, if you ask God something to do for you instead of you worshiping God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just the problem too. Just we live in a very heavy individualistic, greedy
so we just
society.
get to love yourself versus love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself.
And I think that's just one of the major
it's not
problems.
Creating community, it's creating a club.
And that's just one of another institutional problem too, where
whoever wrote that didn't live next to my neighbor. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Tina says a good church is deeply involved in the community, and she's 100% right on that too.
Yeah, and they have a strong place, and they also foster and create community to where when I was doing full blown church services for better part of 10 years, we hung out all the time.
Mm.
I loved hanging out.
But
we did dinners. We did.
I've seen yours. When you were doing your old videos on like what you were, you had in-depth lessons about what you fought and what the Bible says and all that, and just not a lot of barely any churches really have that, even like with actual catechism or Bible study or just from the pulpit.
Yeah.
Well,
I ran more people off because they didn't. The message was they wanted to feel good,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus learning something and growing as an individual, and that's what you're getting. That's kind of what a Christian was saying there in his post was they I like the way he said that. He said they just didn't care, or if they did care, it was what they were told to care about, and that's that dynamic is they don't care. They're just doing what they're told to do, and I think it's actually a defense mechanism when people tune out.
Well,
look at you talking about not wanting to vote. That's a defense mechanism. You're like, I'm going to withdraw. It goes back to, Matthew Broderick and the War Games movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only way to win is to not play. And more people are saying, you know what? I'm just going to withdraw from this.
Well,
let me let Joe jump in here because he's been chomping at the bit and I cut him off twice.
Yeah. First of all, I'd say regarding church, I would invite anybody to come to Bible Baptist Church at Pine Summit, where you get solid preaching. Your ears aren't tickled. The message doesn't tickle your ears. It's the message is always geared toward people accepting Christ as their Savior.
Mm-hmm.
And how can you, the message will help you. How do you live your life as a Christian and help you and engage in the community, and missions work is very important.
Always with the
and
Baptist community.
solid.
Well, and
church.
I'll give a shout out to Pastor Bill at
Floodgate,
and also our local Lutheran pastor over there in Heartland Highland.
I love that.
Are you talking about like All Saints?
I'm trying to think of because
Pastor Tuma, yeah. I love
that. He was talking about 2 Timothy 4:3.
Yeah, I love
the
that.
Tickling of the ears.
Oh, the tickling of the ears. You want to read to us, Scotty?
Yeah. So for a time will come when they will not tolerate sound doctrine, but wanting to have their ears tickled, they will accumulate for themselves teachers in accordance with their own desires.
Yes, and that is what most people don't realize. And I did years ago. I did I don't know, was it 5 or 7 part? I think it was a 5-part series on idolatry. And how much we make anything that you worship apart from God and you put up on a pedestal above God becomes an idol. And that's what he's talking about that's where the idea of the ego and also the idea of narcissism, where you want to worship, it's a worship of self. And so you get around a great number of people that say what your itching ears want to hear. you want to reinforce your proclivities. That's why the left wants to shout at us about their twisted hearts. You know, I'm this and I'm that, and you got to call me. You know, these are my pronouns. You want me to reinforce something that doesn't bring fulfillment in your life, because that's what you're worshiping at the moment. That's your idol. That's your and look at the 2 commandments that were given to the children of Abraham in the beginning was have no other gods before me and have no graven images. Both those deal with false identity. One is in the heart and one is physically. And if you realize that anything, we should always be striving to have a correct image. In fact, Jesus chastised the disciples. I think it was it Thomas, Philip? It was one of them. He said, they said, Lord, just show us the Father and that'll be enough for us. And he goes, you've been with me this whole time. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father.
Right.
I am the physical embodiment of the Father. If you've seen me. And they couldn't get that concept at that moment in time. And he was trying to explain to them, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. And we have these false ideas, these false images, whether physical or in our heart, you know, that are the problem. You know, what you see is what you become. What you fixate on is what you emulate. And so people, they have these false images, and we get into these places where we're not seeing correctly the image. If we're made in the quote unquote image of God, if that scripture is true, which I believe it is, if that scripture is true, we're made in the image of God, then we have to constantly be transformed, as Romans 12 says, transformed by the renewing of our mind, so that we can then test and approve of what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. We've got to constantly have our mind renewed so that we see clearly the image of God, because then we emulate that. Then we reflect that.
But that's why we're in the situation we are today, because who said it that, I'm paraphrasing, that here's a republic, if you can hold on to it.
Franklin.
And so that was, we're not doing a very good job there. That's slipping away quickly, as Teddy is.
Eroded,
yeah. And so how do we get back to that moral structure that is so important ingredient of society and of our government and the things that influence? How do we get back to that?
I think it's unfortunate. The lessons we're taught throughout the Old Testament scriptures is every time that the Israelites strayed away from God, he put them into captivity. He sent armies, allowed armies to come against them and attack them. And it's the same back and forth discussion, you know, about, you know, people withdrawing, and we let a horrible demonic Democrat get in there because people don't want to vote for a rhino Republican. And we go, why? And I go, because until people feel that oppression, they don't turn to God.
Right.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to get them out of their comfort zone. There's a lot of good old boys out there, farmers and ranchers and gun owners that do not. I skate with a whole bunch of guys. They don't care about politics or voting or anything. But you know what? When somebody comes, knocks on their doors and tries to take away their guns and tells them they can't go hunting
care
anymore,
then.
they'll care.
Yeah.
But
it's too late.
Well, we say it's too late. But our founding fathers didn't think that way. And
then it's too late for a peaceful.
Exactly.
But that's what,
Yeah.
isn't that
That's exactly.
That's what I mean.
And that's where they're headed, and that's what they're trying to orchestrate, because that's what they want, that division and that.
Because they think they'll win.
Right.
And they're mistaken. Look what our founding fathers, right? They came in and knocked on their doors. And what did Kennedy, was it Kennedy? He said, no, it wasn't Kennedy. But anyways, he said, the quote is from somebody, when you make peaceful reform, I'm missing the phrase. When you make peaceful change impossible, you make violent revolution inevitable.
Probable. Yeah.
Or inevitable. I'm trying to remember that quote. Teddy, maybe try to take my shitty paraphrase and find the exact quote. I thought it was Kennedy but when you make peaceful
John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, was it Kennedy? Did you find it, Scott?
Those who make peaceful resolution impossible will make violent resolution inevitable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No.
And that's the dynamic we're looking. And so as unfortunate as it is, but the thing is independent people don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to have allegiances. They don't want to be part of groups from a standpoint of the group telling them what to do. They want to be part of a group if they have a say in it. And that's why you get a lot of grassroots people or other people that join up and then they get disenfranchised because they're like, listen, I don't want to be told and dictated to. I wanted to come and be a part and volunteer and help out and be part of something, but I don't want to be told what to do. And that's where you get that dynamic.
Well, okay. But here's, because when I was out collecting signatures for the voter ID
Yeah.
thing, and I was out there and I ran into a lot of people that are really discouraged with where we're headed and down in the dumps. And
Yeah.
the thought occurred to me, and I don't want to get on the soapbox, but as I explained to them, my personal view is if things were going great in this country and you just woke up and you had a job, your income was secure, your family was strong, you didn't have overburdened regulations coming down on you, you didn't have onerous taxes put on you,
Mhm.
and you could just live your life and everything was great. Or if you have it the way it is now where you're fighting for your life, no matter where these dynamics stand, it's the biggest decision of your life, and that is accepting Christ as your Savior and having a personal relationship with Him, and you acknowledge what He's done for you, and you ask for His forgiveness, and you depend solely on Him. And if you miss making that decision, it doesn't matter where we're at. And
100%. And I think that's where the moral right tends to falter on a regular basis is we want to have a moral stance, and yet we see our leadership corrupt and we see the lack of the foundation because there's no other foundation other than Christ Jesus Himself.
right.
You know, and so when we don't lay that foundation on Christ, and it's the most difficult thing, and I've cited this scripture many times when it's out of Ephesians, it says, I'm make sure it's out of Ephesians, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit. I don't have to create unity. All I have to do is not mess it up.
Right.
Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit to the bond of peace. And people don't want to be unified by the Spirit. They want to create unity over my group or this party or this thing or that thing. No. If you just yield to the Holy Spirit and I yield and you yield to the Holy Spirit, the Lord will keep us in a path of unity. And all we have to do is be at peace with each other.
Yeah.
Ephesians 4:3.
Yeah.
Ephesians 4:3. Thank you, Scott.
And acknowledge Him, and
He'll direct your path.
and He'll direct your path. Yeah.
You know?
But this country is a 10-year-old kid or maybe younger when they took the 10 Commandments
Mm-hmm.
out of school.
Mm-hmm.
You just inherently knew this is bad. This is a bad precursor.
Yeah.
To what's the direction we're headed.
Well, and that's a huge dynamic on that, Joe, is because I've been studying scripture since I was in my early teens, and what I found is that it really is in 2 Corinthians. It says the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. And what's the dynamic there? Scripture, the letter, kills. What does it kill? When you have the 10 Commandments and it says, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not bear false witness.
Pretty clear.
It's killing those desires to commit adultery, to commit murder. So when you're looking at them, it's supposed to kill that and attack that. All right. And the same way when you write down the Lord speaks to you and you write it down in your journal. This is what the Lord told me to do. And you write it down in your journal.
Mm-hmm.
Then 10 days later, when you're thinking, man, this has got tough. Should I really do this? And then you go back and you open up your journal and it says, no, Lord, you told me this is what I'm supposed to be doing. What did that kill? That killed your doubt. that killed your desire to do something else. And now you go, nope, this is what you told me. I wrote it down. I wrote the date down. I wrote it when I was in prayer and you told me to do this. So I just me writing that down, the letter kills. So whether it's scripture, right? The Holy Scriptures, as Paul was talking to Timothy about, that are able to keep you, or whether it's something Lord speaks to you personally, you write down in your journal, those, your notes, right? What did that do? That killed your inability to stay on track, right? That kept you on track by writing down some notes.
Right.
And we don't think about these dynamics of what that does for us, just the letter itself. But in that principle in 2 Corinthians 3 of the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. So I need to kill off things by having the letter there in front of me. And then I need to listen to the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because the letter is going to tell me to not commit adultery, but the Spirit's going to tell me who my wife is.
Right.
Because I can't find that in Ephesians that said to marry Tanya. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not in there, but it does tell me how to treat my wife on a surface level. But then I still have to dive into who she is and all those dynamics. Same with you, right?
Yeah.
You talked about a little bit. You're working late and your wife shows up and you're like, I know, honey. But you're sacrificing for the greater good, and you understand there's a balance in that, and you're working towards it. So,
and the thing is that we'll take. This is really going to take us off track, but pornography is an example. If you struggled with that, and that's a really difficult a problem for a lot of people, right? But Christ can easily overpower that if you stay close to him and listen and follow him. And those problems can, like you just said, the letter of the law versus the name of the game is you stay as close to Christ as you can. Now it's easy for me to say that, and I'm not saying that I do anywhere near what I should be doing, but I understand the dynamics.
And you know what the funny thing is, if we tried to, it's the biggest, I think, struggle when we try to not do things wrong. But when we get focused on doing things right, it fills us up.
Yes.
You can sit there and try not to do this and not to do that, and not to do this and not to do that.
Yeah.
But when you get filled up with doing something good, I can try. I went through a number of years in my life where I didn't cuss outwardly, right? I didn't drop some F-bombs on things. And you know what? At the end of it, it didn't do much for me.
No,
because it was more of a distraction of, I got to watch what I'm saying right now because I could be, I could drop an F-bomb and it might offend somebody. When my heart is to make sure when people walk in the man cave, have you eaten today?
Right.
Are you do you need a hug?
Yeah.
It's like I want people to come in and feel the peace of God. So that means I got to do my job, walking the floor and praying over this place. And then if my language is a little more colorful, well, if I was in Ireland, or Scotland, dropping F-bombs is nothing over there. They don't even think about that. So
colorful language doesn't bother me in the least. The only thing, if the people take the Lord's name in vain, then
that's even a debate for that, to where I think that people who claim to be believers and then go out and do things that are contrary to what even just straight up Scripture says, they've taken His name in vain. Whereas the children of Israel, they were brought, abominations were brought before them by the leadership, and they said, "What's the response from the people?" And they said, "God damn that."
Yeah.
And so we get flipping with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it depends on how you use that term.
Isn't it the way it depends on every term?
Yeah.
I got a buddy that walks in the locker room and calls us all pussies every time he walks in. And it's but that's where his background is in his heart. When he goes, "Hey, what's up, pussy?" I go, "I know he loves me."
Yeah.
And that's weird, right? But that's his heart. And I know Larry knows trucker language, right? There's sometimes when truckers say stuff and you go, there's guys who walk up and go, "Hey, fuck you." No, fuck you. It's all, you know what I'm saying? It is the tone. It is the spirit behind it, and we get hung up on those things. And then we take words way out of context and we get jacked up about it, especially mixed drinks around here.
But anyway,
we're going to move
on to I'm interested in talking about
a couple other things.
Trump. And I'm with you as far as Trump is concerned. you couldn't find a stronger supporter of President Trump. But like you, it's not Trump that I don't like, but it's some of his policies. For example, going into Iran, when I heard that on a number of occasions, they were ready in my first term. They were ready to sign on the bottom line and have peace.
We played the montage a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I'm going, what happened to that? Over, why don't we have that today? Why isn't that not an option today?
Right.
Or we decimated their nuclear arsenal.
Yeah.
And they can't do anything for 30 years.
And
but
now we have to go back in.
30 days, they could have in 30 days.
And it's been 46 years of saying they could have a weapon within 30 days to 2 years.
Yeah.
And we go, all right, guys.
And so that causes me some consternation. I'm going,
it's cognitive dissonance. What are you telling me? One day you tell me that we took out all their bases and they have no way of reconstituting for 30 years, and then and less than a year later, we're bombing them again because they're going to have the weapons.
In 30 days.
And we're in imminent danger, and then half the cabinet or half the advisors say we were never in imminent danger, but Israel was.
And here's a man that never believed in war. Starting war, and spoke against it.
Yeah.
And now it looks like, to me, and he's done so much good.
Phenomenal.
And
now it's being overshadowed by this.
This is going, and
now he's screaming at that Mark Levin's the biggest MAGA Republican American firster that we've ever had. And if you don't support us going into Iran, then you've never been MAGA in the first place. What the hell? What?
Yeah.
He's saying that.
Yeah.
I go,
please,
Mr. President, we've supported you 100%, but we're not a cult. We can't blindly look at this and just go, okay,
I think if the Iranian thing too, if you see how many people, Republicans supposedly support it, it's like, just a lot of people just flip-flop, oh, well, Trump was against it, so I'm against it. But, oh, Trump did this, so I'm for this now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a little bit of, nuance in that where it's just a good chunk of...
you know what? Sitting here at the table, I know there's three of us that if we got the phone call would go, no, there's 25% at this table that would say, no, I don't support this incursion into Iran. This is the president that touted for the first year of his administration that he ended this war, ended that war, ended this war. And we look at it, and we're going to get into Joe Kent resigning, because Joe Kent said, look, we're going to read the article on there. I want to do this before we do this, because this is very important. Teddy, will you read the verse tonight? And I was trying to find a reference because I didn't bother to put the references. I just said Jesus. But this is where Jesus is casting out a devil. And the Pharisees, of course, came up to him. And he said he only casts out devils by the prince of devils. And please read the verse for us tonight.
Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself will not stand.
And that's where we're at today.
Yeah. And why am I not finding it? Scott, do you know that reference from you don't have the paper in front of you? Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Every city or house divided against itself will not stand. I want to get the full passage, and I'm trying to pull it up on my Bible app over here, and it's not.
When did Joe Kent resign?
Today.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, today. And
did he cite a reason?
Oh, he wrote a scathing letter. And he was a hardcore 100% Trump supporter, and he said, I can't do this anymore. Let's see. Where's I might have to go to my other file to pull it up because I had it pulled up.
And how about the statement?
Mark 3, 25 through 27.
Say it again, please.
Mark 3, 25 through 27.
Mark 3. Why was I put it in Matthew?
If a house divided against itself, that house cannot stand, and if Satan has risen up against himself and is divided, he cannot stand, but has an end.
Okay, I'm going to pull this up on the screen so everybody can see this real quick.
Didn't George Washington say that too?
Was Abraham
that's
Lincoln.
why
it was Abraham Lincoln.
Well, they were also talking about, Abraham Lincoln talking about, but
quoting the Bible.
George Washington was the one that cautioned in his final farewell speech against parties and how parties will become a divisive faction. So then it says, verse 20 here, then the multitude came together and so that they could, what was it? Yeah. But his own people heard about this. Wait, the scribes came down from Jerusalem and said, he has Beelzebub. By the ruler of demons, he casts out demons. And he called to himself and said to them, how can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom is divided against itself, it cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, it cannot stand. If Satan rises up against himself and is divided, he cannot stand, and has an end. The NIV would say, and his end has come. No one enters a strong man's house and plunders his goods unless he first binds the strong man, and then he takes away the plunder of his house. And that's what I want to, that's part of the thing that I want to point out here is that we're talking about, there's constant incursions to cause division, right? We're going to be divided over which candidate. I watched all my veterans. I had a great thing going with my veterans, sitting here talking about their experience and everything like that. Anywhere from 6 to 8 guys sitting here, just sharing their stories. They bonded. They were here. As soon as the primaries came along, 2024, they factioned. They picked, these guys picked that guy, these guys, and they were all Republican candidates.
Republicans, right. I would
and they
that,
hate
yeah.
each other to this day.
Yeah.
If I bring up the name of one of them to the other person, they hate each other today. And I can tell you exactly when it happened, and it was over choosing political candidates. They haven't come back together.
And the Democrats don't have that problem.
They don't have that problem. They're going to pick the worst person that's going to give them the biggest chunk of change, and you know, whatever the handout is or the deceptive belief process. And I look at this and go, wow, when the Republican Party was founded on the right foundation, and it is strayed. And there's this every time there's a renewal to try to bring it back, there's this constant attack to keep it divided over this, over that. You know,
that's why I detest open primaries.
100%, because then they're infiltrating with it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, again, Larry and I will go back and forth about certain candidates, and I go, but we're not being as
we're settling.
Well, we're accepting the candidate during the primary when that's when we should be the most ardent and hardcore to get the best candidate in, and then let that.
Well, that's what the primary is about. We need to get the best candidate, the best person forward, and then move on to the general election and win.
But the Dems infiltrate our primary,
well, yeah,
and then
but
they.
Then that's where I.
But the Republican leadership doesn't give a shit.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no other way to put it. I have been trying to close primaries since 1999. This is 2026. They don't give a shit.
Yes.
It's just that simple. They have every excuse in the book when I bring it up. Oh, well, if we do that, then we'll have to pay for elections out of our pocket and this and that. And it's like, until you close the primaries, because the Democrats play the long game.
Yeah.
Right? They'll cross over in our elections all day long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they'll put up their primary candidates and they'll have their little primary, but most people are going to go for the most radical leftist terrible candidate they can find.
Yep.
Because the Democrat Party is inherently evil. Right. So they'll find the most evil candidate. And then when they have a moderate candidate that's running against them, they'll jump over and say, okay, who's the weakest Republican?
Mm-hmm.
And that's who they'll vote against.
And that's where we have to take the time to get out the vote, get the strongest votes out, right? That's what Charlie Kirk was doing. That's why they took him out.
That's where the precinct delegates get involved.
100%. And we got to get that thing going, because you're exactly right. Your summation is exactly right.
Absolutely.
They put in the weakest fucking candidate and they go after that. But here's the thing that we can do, and we saw it demonstrated on that. Have to make it too big to rig. Yeah. You have to get people out. What does that mean? That means that you have to get out the best, most dynamic candidates. Trump already had, right? He's the the Apprentice guy. He's the real estate mogul. He's in
Mhm.
multiple movies that they now blur out his scenes or cut his scenes completely from Home Alone and stuff like that on streaming stuff. That's why I you look at that stack over there. That's why I have so many movies on actual Blu-ray over there. I don't know if there's a camera over there, but that's, I have all those. You know why? Because you can't edit that shit.
Right.
You can't take that. Whereas they're editing stuff, they're pulling stuff off your DVRs. They've done that before, right?
What you could do too is also digitize all that, and then you can make your own server off a Raspberry Pi.
Let's
and
do
then
it, Teddy.
And then have it on your computer, but you can project it on the screen.
We're doing that next week, you and me, buddy. We're going hardcore on it. But that's the dynamics I'm looking at. Is you're exactly right, Larry. But we have to get these candidates, and that means the primary and the locals. And I'm going to say it again, just as much as the state and national races are important. The delegates getting in great chairs and vice chairs and treasurers and secretaries.
That's where
and
we
getting
came
in
up
the
short.
right county commissioners. How did we survive in this county without the overt tyranny in one of the states with the worst tyranny going on next to California and New York?
Yeah.
Because we had 9 commissioners who said, we're not taking your freaking COVID money, and we're not gonna allow this stuff to happen. And we had a great sheriff that said, hell no, we're not doing that. You know, and I knew local officers. I have friends that are local officers that said they were getting multiple calls. Oh, this person was in this store and wasn't wearing a mask and stuff like that. And they'd write it down in their book and say, well, take a look at it. And they never went and investigated because they're like, this is bullshit and we're not doing it. So if all politics is local and the number one office is a precinct delegate, then we've got to get more people back involved in this. But the fact is the House is divided.
Yeah.
And as long as we're divided, we can't stand. It's not just getting out the vote on a national level. It's not just getting out the vote on a state level. The House is being purposefully divided because they don't care. As Larry said, he's been trying since 1999 to get rid of these open primaries. The upper leadership doesn't care because as long as the overall agenda keeps moving forward, it's a uniparty and they don't care.
Yep.
And so the only way we're going to take it back is getting rid of horrible school superintendents, getting rid of bad commissioners, getting rid of bad party chairs, getting rid of bad trustees in different townships. We overturned completely. We had multiple shows and we overturned Genoa Township, right? We had a small hand in that. We had multiple guests on here talking about it because they were trying to push through that PUD situation. You know, we had that. We've had people on, Larry's brought on that deal with Howell Township and some of the bullshit that was going on over there. You know, that's the dynamics. It's all local. And then that will trickle up. That will do up. If we have good party chairs that go, you're an establishment rhino candidate, we're going to push this person that's genuine, that has a great personality, that has that doesn't need this, but knows that there's a calling on their life. You know, the Ryan Kelly types. And now in the Senate race, Genevieve Peter Scott, I love her. She is, I mean, just bubbly and awesome. Why are we not just hammering that chick? When she comes here, it's a non-political thing. She just comes for a party here because she met us. She came on the podcast and she's like, whenever you have parties, let me know. And if I can make it, I'm going to make it. She goes, I just like hanging out with you. That's the lady I want as a representative because she actually is connecting with the community. She's making the rounds all the time. And we had Monica on here and we've had Amanda on here, you know, but I like Amanda because of her track record and her experience. But I think Monica does have a
little more fire in the belly.
She's got a fire in her belly, but I see her in a different role. And I think that'll work itself out. Whereas you take Amanda, she's good. Technically and experience wise, Lord willing, she'll be a phenomenal Secretary of State because she has that background. Whereas Monica, I could see her in a bunch of other political roles where she would be. I mean, imagine her at a political rally. She's going to electrify the crowd. She's going to do that because she's had that stand up on a podium, be a CEO, do that. And this is where we've got to have discernment and understanding, but we've got to hammer out these candidates. You know, why are local party chairs choosing the establishment guy instead of looking at who's going to be that. I mean, this chick, Genevieve, Peter Scott, she has been on a campaign of getting rid of property taxes. When Axe My Tax, when was that? 5 years ago or something like that? That she started that. She started that with her own dime.
I thought that was Wagner.
Am I getting that
I
wrong?
think you're right.
Was it Wagner?
Yeah, the lady that was here that's running for governor.
Let me look it again.
That you're talking about Axe My Tax.
I'm getting them confused. Then.
Yeah.
Can I, while you're looking that up, Jeremy, can
Yeah.
I say
Can I-
this? Is the just so people know, the police from your local police department, they handle your statutory rights, and the county sheriff's office handles your constitutional rights. Am I correct, Jeremy?
Say it again. I was looking
That your sheriff handles your constitutional rights, deals with those constitutional rights. It's the police that deal with your statutory rights.
Your police?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I that's a whole nother subject, Joe.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Because
so-
I think every quote unquote law enforcement agency other than the duly elected sheriff should be abolished overnight. I just blanketly, that's my opinion. I think anything beyond the sheriff should be abolished overnight, and any of the statutory stuff that's involved in that should be abolished overnight, and then let the sheriff vet and absorb the districts, because the sheriff is the only one that's elected and accountable to the people.
Right.
There's
That
not a
was
single
yeah,
fucking FBI guy that's accountable to me
right.
as a citizen, as a we the people. There's not a single. There's a lot of municipalities that have their own little sheriff's departments, and that's where you get some of the biggest abuses, because they get the counties that are sleeping to go along with it, and then they put a whole bunch of statutory regulations that are not constitutional in place, and they don't have anything. They don't have any responsibility to the people.
Yeah.
They're not elected.
Well,
They're
they
not
are
accountable.
No, but they are there are supposed to be there to protect our constitutional rights.
Did you figure it out? Was it Wagner? Did I confuse Wagner with Genevieve? I looked up Axe My Tax and it doesn't give me a history on there. Help me bother on that, guys. I don't want to make a statement out of turn. Sometimes the mind doesn't do it. I'll type in WAG.
I'll just catch up in chat here. We got Tim in the house,
Yeah, I saw Tim helping me out. I did look up.
and he said, Matt
Matthew
12
12,
is
yep.
the parallel. Sorry, I didn't read. And he's saying hi, Ted, and then he messaged me on Facebook saying I said
it
hi.
was Carla Wagner. You're exactly right.
Terrible.
And
Larry, thank you for correcting me.
Pyrus said,
you're welcome.
Pyrus said physical media is the best. He buys 4K steel books all the time.
Oh,
and
I
then,
love the steel books, dude.
And then Tina said, we see more worship from the Trump administration than I've seen in a long time. Job 811 to 13. Job, sorry.
Let's look that
Can
up. What is it again?
papyrus grow tall where there is no marsh? Can reeds thrive without water? 12 while still growing. And then she also says we've raised a generation with no God in schools and Grand Theft Auto on their Xbox.
Yeah, but I agree with you guys, and I see that. But what's encouraging is I saw the huge youth turnout before he was assassinated and more after. When you watch whole campuses that buck the system, we can get rid of these superintendents that are doing DEI bullshit when you get those kids inspired, and they want to be inspired. But when you've got a bunch of bullshit that they've been handed down and you got to support the part, how about you have a future if you fight for it? That's what appeals to them.
Yeah.
And then after that, when you go, yeah, I want to fight for my future. Okay, well, we can either do something separate, or we can march back in here and reclaim this organization that's been around, the grand old party's been around, or, let's make a decision. Let's sit down. Let's have a conversation.
And we got Patrick on Facebook.
Patrick's over there?
Yeah. And he said, why did he quit? I'm guessing Joe Kent. We will
We're
get
gonna
into
read that
that.
right
We
now.
will get into that shortly. And then he also says the delegates are hand selected by the executive committee of the counties. And then he also says Wagner X MI tax.
Yeah, it was Wagner. My bad, guys. Genevieve Peters, also from that, but I was convoluting the two. Yeah, Axe My Tax. And she's been doing that. Carla's been doing that for a number of years now and kicking ass on it, you know, and then I see these other candidates grabbing hold of it. I'm like, that wasn't your original thing.
Right.
No, I don't want to
Yeah.
begrudge them that they're jumping on a good topic, but give credit.
Exactly.
Say, you know what? Just like so-and-so, I support that. One thing I can't stand is giving credit. It's not giving credit.
Yep.
You know, it's not I'll be on here and go, well, the Apostle Paul wrote this, you know, or it's in the scriptures, or it's, you know, or I remember I'm constantly looking across to do this. All right. So
Joe Kent.
Yeah.
I love the guy. Don't know him, just heard about him. But I love what he's got to say, because and this is just my opinion. How can you know for sure what's going on behind the scenes? But when Israel says, well, Turkey is our next objective,
Yeah.
right? That, to me, that tells me, like, okay, he's stating what's on his agenda, and apparently he has enough backing to believe that he could pull that off.
Yep.
And what are we doing getting involved with that?
Exactly. And when you go back, I was going through WikiLeaks today. I was trying to find this. There is a whole WikiLeaks dynamic of the never-ending war scenario. Now, I know that from the end of World War II. They said after we dropped the atomic bomb, or right around that time, they said we can't have that type of destructive weapon ever dropped again.
Right.
So let's agree to have only these regional skirmishes so we can keep the war machine going and we can keep everything on the up and up. But we don't want to ever have that overwhelming devastation that ends it. Because most people don't know, they sent half of the armaments for the land invasion that was scheduled for Japan.
Yeah.
They sent that to Korea and to Vietnam, or that area of Vietnam. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All those armaments that they were going to use as a ground invasion.
Yeah.
And then Truman gave the order and said, no, we're gonna, you know, they developed this technology. We're going to drop this bomb, or these couple bombs.
Yep.
And they did. And Japan came to the table, unconditional surrender. That's why every time I hear about this, that these group of people or that group of people are, 10 days away from them, they're going to use nuclear bombs. There is not a single terrorist country in the world, I guarantee it, that wants to send out a nuclear bomb. You know why? Because that's mutually assured destruction.
Right.
If Iran or Pakistan or Korea or any of these countries sent one bomb or 10 bombs, you know what's going to happen to them? Their country no longer exists.
Right.
It will be gone. It's to their own self-preservation, no matter how crazy and whacked out those fuckers may be.
That's where I still, because how do you control crazy?
But what's the strongest dynamic in anybody?
Survival.
You may convince some low IQ person to strap a bomb to their body and go into a crowded square,
right?
Into a marketplace.
Yeah.
It's to get maybe a dirty bomb,
right?
And you're gonna take out some square blocks.
Yeah.
But to launch nuclear weapons from dude, they don't want to do that. Remember Kim Jong? What was it? The current guy in North Korea?
Yeah, Trump said
when
my
Trump was there,
button's
he's
bigger.
like, well, not only that, but when he met with him,
he
put him in tears. He said, "You've got beautiful beaches. You should have resorts. You should have all this," and he knows it.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things that Trump has done when he crossed from South Korea into North Korea.
Yeah.
Do you know how dangerous that was and the courage it took to do that?
Yes, 100%. So I want to read this article. Maybe let me find my button here. I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Okay. Because I don't want to see the other side.
Oh yeah, this I want to see.
I want to read this.
How long is it?
It's not very long.
Oh.
This is the letter in full. President Trump, after much reflection, I've decided to resign from my position as director of National Counterterrorism Center. To get that position, you might know what you're doing in counterterrorism, right?
Right.
Effective today, I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, and 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how decisively applied military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Soleimani and defeating ISIS. Absolutely. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiment to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that you should strike now. And there was a clear path to swift victory. That's what he thought. He thought it was going to be a clear path, just like Venezuela is going to go in there and just take out the head and we'll be good. This was a lie and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this same mistake again. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times and is a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Sharon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran, who we're doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course, chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further toward decline and chaos. You hold the cards. It was my honor to serve your administration and to serve our great nation. Joseph Kent, Director, National Counterterrorism Center. See, now.
And wonderful patriot.
100%. And then there's the whole group that will immediately say, he's unpatriotic. He's just did this. He just did. I'm like, he's disagreeing. We're supposed to be allowed to articulate our disagreement.
The amount of people I've seen on Facebook or whatever calling him a deep state agent or a rhino or like traitor or
you
like a liberal.
You can't honestly, with a moral compass, read that letter and not know that that's from his heart.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that most people, and this is what I was going to, were like, a lot of Republicans support the Iran thing all of a sudden, even though none of them beforehand, before Trump decided to go anywhere, against
one of my biggest platforms was when he said no more wars. I was like, that's what I fucking want.
But the problem is that they blindly have faith in Trump to a fault, or they just get their information from Fox News, Newsmax, that whole thing.
I'm 100%.
And, it's just a shame because if you think Joe Kent is somehow a deep state,
I'm sorry.
No, and I wonder if the real deep state isn't behind this, because this is going to, if it goes much further, it's going to divide this country like we haven't experienced in generations.
I'm a rational person, okay, and I'm looking at this, but I'm watching the amount of people that are, the amount of podcasters who are not bought and paid for, who are like, I'm done with Trump. He said no new wars. He said America first. And here we are with a new war. And our Secretary of State has had to walk it back. Secretary of State, or what's Marco Rubio?
Secretary of State.
He said, well, we knew that Israel was going to strike and that Iran would respond and Iran would probably bomb our bases. So we had to make a preemptive strike to try to prevent all of that.
I don't buy it.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
But
do you buy that?
Well, no,
I believe that Israel was going to strike no matter what, and Iran was going to respond.
I buy it because they would just drag us into the war.
But I didn't think Iran was going to bomb our bases until we bombed them.
Well, think about
because they're our greatest ally, and we have to support them no matter what.
Yeah,
I think that.
Think about it.
I buy it completely.
Think about it like this: let's just go in the minds of Iran for a second. Okay, we get surprise attacked. capital, all the cities get bombed. President, most of the cabinet gets wiped out. How do you think the military generals and the public would want to respond to that? Do we just like negotiate, even though we were negotiating with the U.S. during like the last 2 times, and then they use that just as a pretext to surprise attack us?
Right.
Or do we bomb everything that we suspect is involved with the people that attacked us, right? And that's the point where they're at, where there's like...
They're going to strike out wherever and however they can. And can you blame them?
No.
And you guys, we got to look at the dynamic that we had from the we got to look at the dynamic that we had when Trump sent the rockets in to destroy the nuclear facilities a year ago, right?
Yeah.
What was the dynamic? Iran called up and said, "Hey, we're gonna send a couple missiles over. We're giving you warnings so you can clear out your people because we have to save face and retaliate a little bit. But we understand what you did. We understand this." That's completely out of the window now, off the table now.
Yep.
And then
you had a country that had their supposed nuclear spots destroyed, in Trump's words. They're set back 30 years, and they go, "Okay, we need to save face and send a couple missiles over." That's where the footing was. That was not acceptable for Israel. What happened last year was not acceptable to them, because they need to be on a war footing all the time. Netanyahu is under indictment by his own government.
Right, exactly.
And if he doesn't have a war to keep him in office, he will be subject to his own government going after him.
Well,
and that's the factors that people don't want to look at, and they don't want to acknowledge that President Trump's the greatest president of my lifetime, but he still is not a perfect man and is making a mistake right now.
Nobody is. There is no such thing as a perfect man.
Your mic's off.
Oh.
And we have the thing where before this started, we had the controversial Mike Huckabee supporting the Greater Israel Project.
Right.
And that's what we're fighting, because Miriam Adelson donated hundreds of millions to Trump's campaign. And the fact that they want a Greater Israel, they want Israel to have hegemony over the Middle East, and Iran was blocking that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And we put up the map last week where Iran made up of 20 different ethnicities.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very loose coalition of people.
I would say it's ethnically diverse, but religiously it's like 95% Shia, 12 or Shia Islam. So they're united in that kind of, because Israel is like, there's like Sephardi's, Ashkenazis, all these different kinds of like ethnic, groups, but they're still united by the, Judaism as their religion for the most part.
So when somebody speaks out against, as we are tonight, at least the three of us predominantly, I'll let Larry off the hook.
Tina could be a fourth, because she says in chat, I'm going to risk saying Israel is in total control of our country.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate dynamic. But I want to give the Bester perspective here. You've got a number of people now that have come out publicly, big podcasters, or Tucker Carlson in particular, saying what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
What Tucker Carlson do?
He said, "I don't agree with going to war for Israel."
I just want to say, Jennifer Rand in chat says Trump is not the first president to fight a war, and he was right to defend the U.S. There is a reason he is president and we are not. I am sure there is more intel that we are not privy to know.
I don't like that statement.
Well,
I don't like that statement either, but there's a lot of truth in that statement.
No, that's the reason I don't like the statement, is because when you tell me there's something I don't know, in a country that was founded on transparency and liberty,
can you show me?
I don't like that.
I'll just
national security is the number. Kennedy was assassinated, and he said secret societies and hidden agendas are the biggest problem in this country. He said that just before he was assassinated. If I don't know what's going on and you're not going to tell me, and there's a hidden agenda,
in the Constitution of the president's primary job is to defend this country, not go across
foreign wars,
not defend Israel. Now, I'll just say this: was there I thought the nuclear threat was destroyed, 30 year, we destroyed all the nuclear sites. And can you, Jennifer, could you name me a single Iranian missile system that has the potential to hit the United States homeland? Could you just throw it out there if you know? Because I don't think there are any. I don't think
drones.
Not even drones.
No, they do not have it. It's our State Department has come out and said they do not have the capability of doing anything beyond the Middle East.
The furthest
can't reach us.
the furthest range of missiles they have can hit Eastern Europe.
Yet. They don't have that capability.
What's the
yet.
point of making that statement? What's the point of saying yet to me, Larry?
Because they're headed that way.
Okay, then when they get there, we'll deal with them. Until they attack my soil, why am I sending over our precious blood and our soldiers over there, or dropping bombs on them and creating more people that hate us and chant death to America because they're dropping fucking bombs out of the sky?
Here's the thing. But here's the
Actually,
thing.
most of them are dancing in the streets in support of us.
In London and California, whenever you're seeing Iranians celebrate, there's like a couple little fireworks in Tehran, but they're either so scared or when you get bombed by foreign invaders, you kind of have to unite around wherever because you're being
But what happened to?
I mean, I hate war. I wish we lived in a world where we didn't have to go to war.
Yeah.
Then
Right?
don't
That
make
would
the
be
assumption.
nice.
But I'll just say that
I
I just want to say I do a comparison here. North Korea says death to America all the time. They have missiles that can hit the United States, and they have nuclear weapons. So why didn't we go after them? If they're just they're the same
I
thing.
don't think they're
Because
are
that
they
should
a
have been
state sponsor of terrorism?
They
100%.
they sponsor terrorism.
100%, and they should have
The
dealt
Bush
with
doctrine
that.
was to take out 7 countries that were state sponsors: Pakistan, North Korea, Iran.
Pakistan sponsors just as many terrorist
And
groups as
they
Iran,
have
and
the
they
bomb.
have nukes.
And they have nukes.
But they didn't do something about it when they had the opportunity. Now you're living with the devil you created.
Well, yeah.
Now this is the only thing this is going to do. Now this Iran war is just basically confirm that North Korea, they build nukes, and guess what? They didn't get attacked. What are a bunch of countries going to do now after this war? They're probably going to get a lot of nukes.
The country was founded on liberty with the understanding that the president will be in defense until we are attacked. You do not have a honorable right to preemptively attack based on an assumption that somebody's going to attack you.
Especially after the statement was made that they were ready to come to the negotiating table. They were going to sign on the bottom line if I'm just there another week in my first term. What happened?
They were in negotiations before this war started in Oman. There were negotiations going on. That was used as a pretext. And
so that's why when Larry says to me, "Yet," I go, "Okay, it's a sovereign country until they literally attack us." And, and I go back to World War II. Do you know why we were attacked on Pearl Harbor? Oh, it was just out of the blue. There was nothing going on, and just Japan decided to attack us. No, we did an oil embargo and cut off. Nobody has any history. I know Teddy does. Very few people have a historical understanding that we were in control of Indonesia. Do you remember MacArthur having to leave?
Philippines.
The Philippines. All right,
Yeah.
we were in control. Not Indonesia. Sorry, thank you. The Philippines. We had to leave that. Do you know where they? Japan doesn't have its own oil resources. They were dependent upon that area of the world to get their oil. We did an oil embargo on them. We provoked them by cutting off their oil. They felt that their only recourse was to attack us. None of these battles are cut and dry, just black and white. Oh, that guy was pissed off and he just decided. We've been fucking with Iran for 46 years.
Mm-hmm.
Same with all of these other conflicts. Dude,
but I just,
and we act like, oh, this just started yesterday, and they just decided to get nuclear weapons the other day, and now we've got to.
I just want to go.
Come
back,
on,
I just want to go
blind.
I just want to go back to the Korea dynamic because who is more of our greatest ally here? Who did Israel send hundreds of thousands of troops to fight with us in Vietnam? No, that was South Korea, right?
Yes.
And then, North Korea, they have long-range missiles, they have nukes, and they're threatening our ally, and they say death to America just as much as Iran. Why didn't we go in there and bomb them and try and stop them from, they could attack us if they get the missiles, but they have the missiles, and guess what? There's still the doctrine of mutually assured destruction.
Can we look up one nuclear type missile launch from Iran in 46 years? One type of ICBM, not with a tip on it, but one type of launch from Iran.
Like nuclear test, you mean? Or
yeah. You're not going to find it.
Yeah.
But you know who did test nuclear capable missiles?
North Korea.
North Korea. But we're not over there attacking North Korea. You know
Rocket
why?
Man.
Exactly. And you know why we're not attacking North Korea? Because Israel doesn't fucking give a shit about it.
I was
Well,
going to say, you
the
look at a map and
Dude,
it-
Israel doesn't care
and
about
it'll
North Korea.
tell you.
The
right.
South Korean lobby, if that's even a thing, doesn't control our Congress and doesn't have, and we don't have Miriam Adelson giving hundreds of millions of dollars to the Trump campaign to help South Korea.
And that's the fucking bottom line is our country was founded on being sovereign within its own borders. And if we're attacked, we defend it. And even then you have to question the black flags, right? A black flag is when you know an attack's coming and you allow it to happen so that you can, as Rahm Emanuel says, never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah.
But also the false flag dynamics, right? We had,
Well, it's just sickening that we're being, our soldiers, they didn't have to be put in harm's way. Our bases and all that, and the world economy didn't have to be put in harm's way. But this is all happening now. Gas inflation going up, and our soldiers being hurt and wounded. I mean, we have hundreds. The Pentagon was like shipping soldiers to Germany, and it took CBS News to report that there are hundreds of wounded soldiers, besides the dozen or so that have been unfortunately killed in action.
Right.
But what I'm just saying is that why are we putting our own economic well-being and our soldiers in the line? Right? There was no justifiable. We destroyed their nuclear capability.
Yeah.
They were at the negotiating
Supposedly
table.
a year ago, we're done. Yeah, we're good.
And what is this going to end up doing? It's going to encourage, you're not going to, if you want the regime to collapse, you're going to have to go in, you're going to have boots on the ground if you want the regime change.
Correct.
And what's this going to have? What's this going to do? This is going to only have Iran actually go for a nuclear weapon, like beeline for it.
And the minute one of our brave, awesome soldiers goes in there and accidentally, they just admitted that they actually blew up the school.
Yeah.
Okay? But one of our soldiers is on the ground and they're told by their higher ups, you got to go in and take this location. And they go in there and take that location and find out it wasn't the right people that they were supposed to take. You just created 10 to 100 new people that hate America and want revenge.
And another thing, who's going to fill this vacuum once they decimate the government that was
100%.
previous there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are we going to, who's going to come in and fill that
Read
vacancy?
Christian's chat there, Papyrus.
North Korea was just reported to test warships and missiles the other day. Kim Jong-un was seen with his daughter on deck test firing. Yeah, they were testing cruise missiles, firing from a destroyer, a frigate. I saw.
How dare they? How dare they have test their own rockets? We need to shut them down.
And they say death to America. Like I say, they say death to America. They have all the propaganda.
We got more politicians and lefties in our own fucking country saying death to America. None of them have been arrested.
Well,
so
let me
what the
ask,
fuck are we doing?
Okay, let's. I'm gonna really take it down to a lower level. What do you think?
Joe?
What do you think the chance is that it's the deep state that is manipulating this to cause even further division?
A house divided.
Right. And we're thinking, and Netanyahu plays a part in it, but he has his own agenda and keep his ass out of jail, right?
Yeah.
And so that's his agenda. But if you look deeper, do you think it's the deep state that is?
100%. It's our CIA, it's their Mossad, it's the UK's MI5. They're all they may all be the same group at one level or another.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to keep instability within the world. And it's just chess pieces. They're just moving around different pieces on the board. And then we sit here and disagree with each other.
Well,
it's
just, I kind of want to go into the dynamic of, I want to move on, keep going, but move on to a different kind of angle of this. Is just the priorities have just been backwards. There's been the priorities at this administration and Trump himself are just backwards. And it's just disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. I mean, we were saying the first 2 months are great. We had Doge and all that, USA, but that all just went down and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
And the thing is, if two things don't happen, if this war doesn't end very quickly, and Trump's executive thing where he just arbitrarily executive positions, if they're not ratified into law, the Dems are going to take over, and you won't see another Republican president the rest of your life.
I'm seeing right now, this is COVID 2.0. This is the derailment of the Trump administration. What derailed the first administration
Yeah.
was COVID.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's derailing this administration right now?
Division over Iran.
But this
division over Iran.
But this division
Yeah.
over Iran is his own doing.
Right.
This
yeah,
is,
right.
this is his own
Absolutely.
doing. You could COVID was
Yeah.
you could say whatever COVID was
Correct.
a dark horse out of the nowhere event, right? But this is his own doing.
Right.
A lot of this stuff that's been going on is his own doing. And I want to kind of get into the Tucker where you have Laura Loomer reporting the CIA, and the CIA is going
It's
through his
Larry.
texts. And
Larry Loomer.
and he's saying that he might be arrested. So I just want to get. I want to get
not
this.
just arrested.
But-
Laura Loomer says, "I'm recommending that the DOJ investigate Tucker."
Yeah.
It's just like us right here.
But-
what clout do we have? We're just talking. We're talking to our audience. We're sharing our thoughts and ideas.
That's
I'm
what
very argument.
but
I
that's-
hate war, so I'm looking at it from a hate war perspective. Going restraint is the greatest valor. What's the phrase?
But Tucker,
Jason knows.
Tucker's
Scott
quite,
knows that one.
Tucker's quite unique because he's actually an elite, right? If you have an elite with a huge platform going against Israel and who's actually these wars, that's where you start panicking, and that's why they're going after it. But I just want to say, if they arrest Tucker Carlson before they arrest anybody else that's actually done harm to the country, and like in the past 4 years, what is there left to defend? Every show we have, we complain about no arrest.
Yep.
Okay. What if they arrest Tucker? What kind of message is that showing?
Dude, we sat here and celebrated
While they
on-
killed Kirk,
we-
Charlie Kirk.
Exactly. We sat here and celebrated on January 20th, 2025, when President Trump pardoned almost all of the
J6s, yeah.
except for 12 of them who were still. I watched Stuart Rhodes host the third and fourth hour of InfoWars yesterday, and he was headed to Mar-a-Lago next, and he said he's going to shake President Trump's hand and thank him profusely for commuting his sentence, but ask him why there are still 12 remaining that have not been fully pardoned. He's a combat veteran who served valiantly. He is a lawyer. He is a patriot through and through, and he cannot collect his benefits, nor can he own a firearm right now because he has not been fully pardoned. And he was in some of the biggest show trials that were ever there for Jan 6. That's Stuart Rhodes, along with Joe Biggs and a whole bunch and 10 other people. Okay. They can't own firearms or collect the benefits that they earned being service members in this country. And he said, I'm going to shake his hand and tell him I appreciate his commutation of my sentence, but I want to know why he hasn't pardoned the last 12 of us from Jan 6, because that was a fucking invented bunch of bullshit.
Yep.
And the slate needs to be clean. So, you know what? I believe in my heart of hearts that President Trump is a good president, that he's the best in our lifetime. Absolutely. I mean, I thought I had very high praise for Reagan, but he got led astray on a number of issues.
Yeah, like how in Lebanon,
but they
were
and
212.
and it was floated
Marines.
to me earlier this week that or yesterday. There's some speculation that the Butler attempt on his life, because it wasn't successful, still sent a message to Trump and put him in line. And even though he stood up and said fight, it let him know we can get at you.
He
anytime
thinks
we want.
that at least one of those attempts was from Iran, though. If these they try to get him twice.
Yeah, I think that's his advisors telling him.
That's
that
what I'm saying.
bullshit.
But he's just like,
I agree with you.
The liberals say that was staged. That was
I'm not saying that, but Trump thinks that Iran
that
was
was
somehow
legitimate.
behind that when the second guy was connected to Ukrainian intelligence.
Mhm.
How could that be? It's just like what is this like? It's like, is this just like an extreme case of like the emperor and the scheming eunuchs just feeding him the other? It
is.
I mean, we all know Trump shut in the Oval Office watching Fox News. That doesn't help.
Right.
But you got Susie Wiles and all these other leeches and parasites giving him all this like, bomb Iran.
He's getting obviously horrible advice.
Right.
And in fact, I've always said I wish he'd keep his nose out of Michigan politics because
He keeps
every
endorsing
time-
shitty candidates.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so one of the candidates, Larry, you might have mentioned one of them to me, and it's Kiljuki, or how do you say his name?
Oh, Kajowski.
Yeah, and he's a Trump supporter, and Trump, the fact that Trump backs him up causes me to be concerned and say, hey, wait a minute. I don't know about
Trump
this.
hasn't endorsed him. Kevin Kajowski?
Yeah,
No.
I heard he did.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, yeah.
What I
Well-
actually heard was there's carryover that people are applying from the last round 2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and they're applying it now. Same way they grabbed footage from 5-6 years ago of people protesting, and it's not even the actual protesters. But that Trump has made the statement that he will not endorse anybody until after the primaries. I'm hoping that stands true.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some good chat, guys. I appreciate what's going on there. Jennifer says no accountability because there's no accountability. There's no accountability. It's what are people going? I don't have a problem with a strategic arrest. Okay. I had a buddy. He was actually a cousin-in-law at the time, and he was involved in the capture of Noriega in Panama. Okay. There was a lot of dynamics that were going on with that capture of Noriega in Panama. All right. There was a whole bunch of trying to work things out and I know there was a bunch of bullshit as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they went in and strategically captured him and got that and did that same extraction. Okay. You come out in a fireside chat and you tell the American people, listen, we're not going to tell you about our agents on the ground. We're not going to tell you about our soldiers and what they did. But we're going to tell you this is what happened. And this is who we apprehended because they were doing this and doing this. And it was in our hemisphere, right? The Monroe Doctrine dynamic. It was causing, they were trafficking drugs or they were doing all sorts of other stuff. Okay. I can look at the information and tend to go, okay, that was justified. I can't look at Iran. I can't look at Ukraine and see the justification over there for this. We know that our CIA removed the leadership in Ukraine 2014 and installed Zelensky. We know that they've used that as their private piggy bank to funnel money through there. We know that they've provoked Putin time and time again. And you look at Putin, okay, he's not a perfect man, but I'll tell you what, that guy says, we need to be Christian. We need to repopulate. We need to be as moral people we can be. And if we're attacked, we have to respond. Okay. It doesn't mean I endorse the guy.
Right.
But that's his public statement. And you look at his track record, he goes, listen, half of Ukraine or a third of Ukraine, Teddy, you can tell me if I'm correct on that one. A third of Ukraine decided that they wanted to rejoin, because they were part at one point, wanted to rejoin Russia.
Yeah.
And you know who stopped it? Putin or Russia. I don't know if he was exactly he was in office at the time. He stopped it. You know why? What he told them? He said, create your own sovereign state. We don't want to absorb you. You want to be independent from Ukraine. You're actual of Russian descent in that country.
Yeah.
Then establish your own. But they had a vote, a referendum to leave the Ukrainian government. And they were going to rejoin Russia. Russia said, we don't want you. Not that we don't want you,
right?
But do your own separate thing. Have your own republic there, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do that, and our CIA swept in there and took it back over, and now it's become it's the biggest fucking laundering scam you've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
And you know who was a vocal opponent before the table about the Iran conflict?
Who?
Zelensky.
Yeah, because he doesn't get all of his precious.
Because he says, if you start attacking them, am I going to lose out of my weapons? Am I going to not get all my weapons?
Your money?
And my money?
Yeah.
He's giving a lot of drone interceptors to the Gulf states now.
Well, if he can sell them off. He owns property in Florida. He's going to try to retire out of there.
Oh, yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
He'll be like Netanyahu's son and just party in Miami while their countries are at war. I don't know if you saw that, but Netanyahu's son is in Miami partying while his dad leads his nation and then our nation into a regional war.
Yeah.
Jennifer, I think you should do that. Read Jennifer's latest
I was
post.
considering going on after my township supervisor ends in 2028 and running for state rep.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Because you are a non-career politician and a person. Listen, we can, no matter what, I'll take a genuine person that I disagree with 15% of the time and agree with 85% of the time because your heart is right.
Bingo. And that's the thing I've always said.
But a career,
that I would rather have somebody with less experience,
Yep.
but that is true grassroots,
Yep.
America first, versus somebody that has been around for 20, 30 years and has the experience.
100%.
You know what? Because experience isn't always the case. If you look at people like Pat Kobeck, when he ran, no experience. Jason Wolford, when he ran, no experience.
Yeah.
You can name on and on. So experience isn't the all be all.
Well,
I mean, it's important.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'll clarify. Experience in that specific arena is not necessary, but life experience is phenomenal. Right?
Yeah, right.
One of the things we loved about President Trump was he never was a politician, but he had experience running companies and being successful at whatever endeavor he went after. Right? That was what was appealing to us. And you couldn't find a single person that worked for him that didn't appreciate him and look up to. They couldn't find, out of everything that they tried to impeach him on and go after him on, they couldn't find a single person.
Not a single thing. Yeah.
They had to invent a couple, Stormy Daniels, right?
Yeah.
She ended up having to pay him because she knew she lied.
Yeah.
And her lawyer ended up in jail because he tried to embezzle money from Nike.
And
bullshit.
Yeah. And so we liked President Trump because he told it the way it was.
Yes.
I'm not convinced we're getting
the same
one.
Yeah. There's been a pivot, and I'm very concerned. And I'm very disappointed.
It's, it's just like I've been saying, bad priorities. Priorities have been switched where we have a crappy economy. There's nothing really being done on that.
Gas prices have gone up significantly in the last 3 weeks of this conflict.
Yep.
Leading up to it, no one was coming, but
probably good 70 cents a gallon.
And you put and while our things are just bad for the economy, you just put it at the risk of a free fall, and you put the risk of our soldiers, in the bases in the Middle East.
Yep.
But I put it this way, if we do not end this war quickly and turn his executive orders into legislation, which I don't think is going to happen. If we lose the midterms, it's definitely not going to happen. And we lose it, we're done for.
Yeah.
There is no foreseeable way that I see us reconstructing our government, our system.
Are you blackpilling with Teddy over there?
It's just reality. I mean, it's just realism. I mean, if at this point they deserve to lose the midterms of just how badly they've just fumbled their momentum and how badly
the momentum was phenomenal.
It
was phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
The first 3 months were fucking incredible, and then it was just like
pissed it the whole thing away.
There should have been multiple arrests, and if your indictment doesn't stick, then you do what the Democrats do, and you regather and you file more charges, and you just keep them on their heels. You don't let them get on their toes and get aggressive again. You keep them on their heels, and you just keep filing lawsuits until something sticks. And we didn't do that.
And that's exactly right. Rather than going and attacking Iran, go after the people that committed crimes and false impeachments and
100%. And you've got people in this country that, whether they're wearing hijabs and towels on their head, there are people in this country chanting "Death to America," and we haven't dropped a single bomb on any of them.
Right.
But we're going to be justified to drop a bomb on somebody else in a foreign country that's go to some of these countries where we have pissed all over them and ask them if they like what we're doing. Larry, you got the Midwestern. You got to do your lightning storm quickly.
Well, we'll open up with this one. So 9 Texas Antifa members have all been found guilty on federal terrorist charges.
Ooh, did Texas charge them or the federal government charge them?
This is all state of Texas, bro.
Because Texas has got some balls.
Yes. In a historical first, 9 people have been convicted, by a federal jury on domestic terrorism charges connected to Antifa. So it was the federal government in Texas. The group was accused of being a part of the 9th Texas Antifa cell and was found guilty of rioting, using weapons and explosives, providing materials to support of terrorism, obstruction, and attempted murder The U.S. Attorney's Office in Northern District of Texas announced on Friday.
Texas said, "Hold my beer."
Yes.
Yeah. Hold my beer,
The
let me-
group was convicted on the attempt murder of an Alvarado, Texas police officer and correctional officers at the Prairieland ICE Detention Center on July 4th, 2025.
What Christian say there? Clarify that for me. Probably from Austin. What was it, Scott? When he says probably from Austin, what's he mean?
The Democrat Antifa people in Texas.
Oh, probably from Austin. Yes, Austin
Yes.
is
Either
Yeah,
Austin,
very-
Dallas, or
And
Houston.
Here we
Austin,
go
Dallas,
for
or Houston. All the
story
cities
number
become
2.
blue.
Story number 2 out of the Midwest.
This is your sweetheart here. This is
Yes.
your
It's
love.
It's your girlfriend.
Yes, Alyssa Slobskin tells Idaho crowd Michiganders shoot her yard signs.
Wait, is that a current picture of her?
Yes,
Is she on Ozempic?
yes.
So she'll have cancer next month.
I hope not.
Dude, Ozempic is.
I don't want
those
anybody to get
pharmaceuticals are
cancer.
fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I do
What-
not like Alyssa Slobskin.
Do you know what
Get-
the weight loss drugs? Do you know what the weight loss drugs are doing to what they are?
No.
They're a snake venom or some shit that literally paralyzes your gut so that you no longer absorb food, and you literally lose weight because your body no longer absorbs nutrients in your gut and your intestine, and it paralyzes your gut. The shit's coming out, dude. I'm not speaking out of turn. Look that shit up. That a bunch of these drugs are causing paralysis in the gut biome.
Mm.
And that's why they're losing weight. No, you're fucking starving to death.
Oh,
It's horrible,
yeah,
dude.
didn't hear about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go, Larry.
Okay. So, liberal Alyssa Slotkin is honoring a new approach to selling her economic war plan as she rallies Democrats across the country with her eye on 2028, disparaging her own constituents.
Yep.
Ooh, right. In my first run, where I flipped a red seat to blue, sorry. You know, we had a lot of people who were whispering when we came to their house, like, I'm with you. I just can't put my yard sign out or somebody will shoot it, right? So she's making up these lies.
There
Yeah.
are no Republicans shooting leftist
No,
fucking
and
yard signs. That's
look at the-
bullshit.
Right.
She's,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally making it up, Larry. You're right.
Right.
Exactly right.
And she's just totally making up. This is just CIA bullshit,
It is.
what it is.
Aren't the CIA, their number one thing is to lie?
Yes.
That's their number one thing.
Absolutely.
Yes. And
Absolutely.
Slotkin's one of them. But she talks about here in this video.
Don't play a fucking video of that bitch. Are you playing a video of her?
Yeah.
God bless her. son.
Are you? Let's see.
He just loves hearing Alyssa Slotkin talk. It's like
I mean, look, we all know that Iran
In my
has
first
literally
race-
terrorized
You got two
and
things
killed
playing.
Americans for
Where's the other thing
decades.
playing?
I don't know.
And Trump is
You
the
just
president.
unmuted the computer. You got two things playing.
There you go.
All right, play Alyssa Slotkin.
that's like, you know, you have like the calm wave or ocean noises.
Yeah.
Larry's like calm, sleeping
where
thing
I
is
flipped a
Alyssa
red
Slotkin
seat
talk.
to blue. You know, we had a lot of people who were whispering when we came to their house, like, I'm with you. I can't put my yard sign out or else someone will shoot it, right? Does that sound familiar? In my first race, we had not one, but 2 fake book clubs where women would tell their husbands, like, honey, I'm going to book club, and they would come and volunteer at our office. So we understand. And
Yeah,
it
you
is why
understand
it
when
is
you're doing
very
nefarious
easy for
things,
me
you have to
to take the invite, not only because I wanted to see your beautiful state, but because I want to support Democrats who are doing the hard work of running in tough places, not on the coast, in the middle of the country that doesn't get the attention. We see you and we know how important it is to win everywhere, not just East and West Coast.
Mute her, Larry. But if you have to hide,
Yes.
and go to secret meetings and not put out signs to do, listen, then you know right up front that your agenda is not right.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's all BS because it's the Dems that were stealing our signs.
Mhm.
How Wasn't there somebody, they burned 3 signs? I thought you were telling me.
Yeah, and then we had a video that we played. Didn't we play it on
Probably.
on the show a couple years ago about there was some guy that was going around taking down all the signs over off of oh gosh,
59?
No, over off of old US 23 down
okay.
there by Spencer Road.
Okay.
Yeah, they were taking down Mike Detmer signs. They were taking down Lana Tice's signs.
They've done that as long as I've been involved.
People, it's like, but shooting a sign, you're so full of shit, Slotkin. You made that stuff up because you're a CIA deep state piece of shit. That's what
Hey,
you
Jeremy.
are. Yeah. What's up, buddy?
I want to clarify something you said about Ozempic. It's not snake venom. It's from the Gila monster.
Oh, Gila monster. It's not snake.
Yeah.
It's a lizard venom. It's Gila monster. I knew I'm like,
yeah.
Snake
I just wanted to make sure.
So the COVID is the snake venom. The COVID virus was 2 different snakes, crate snake and another snake.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And that's why it. You know what that venom does first and foremost when it hits your body? Causes respiratory distress. That's what was in there. But you're right. You're exactly right. Thank you, Scott. It was a Gila monster. That's the venom that they're putting in people for Ozempic.
Okay.
And it's literally paralyzing their gut biome.
It's called Extendin
Whoa,
4.
but I'll bet you that.
What's it called, Scott?
Extendin 4.
Extendin 4.
That's the hormone that's actually found in the venom.
And does it describe it where it says that it's paralyzing?
No, I can look it up though.
Yeah.
Oh, but the FDA will be along to nip that in the bud.
Well, it's all natural. It comes from another animal.
Comes
right?
from another animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Larry, you got one more?
I was being facetious, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was picking up on your sarcasm and laying it on pretty heavy.
So House Republicans demand answers after Stretchen Gretchen Whitmer administration seeks repayment of $2.7 billion from 350,000 Michiganders. Many overpayments, not the fault of the claimants, but errors made by unemployment agencies. So basically what's going on here, and you can read about this on the Midwesterner, is unemployment is trying to make people pay back benefits that they paid way back during COVID. Right? Because they claim they made errors by paying it out. Well, you know what? You know what I say to that? Too bad, so sad. You did it.
Yep.
You know, you did it. Too bad, so
and what
sad.
are you going to ravage thousands of
Is that our guy right
families?
there? Is that
Jason Wolf?
Jason
Yes.
Wolford?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
So they're going to ravage thousands of households
Right.
to get money that they'll never be able to get in the first place.
Start putting liens on
Yep.
everybody's
And
home.
Putting liens on their homes. Yeah.
there's all this story and more. We'll get more into some of this stuff next week because our time is running out and I want to get to the video that I sent you.
Oh, you want to get to that?
Yes.
Okay.
So all this and more at the Midwesterner.news. You guys can go look that up. There's some interesting stuff in there. And Tom Leonard is releasing a FOIA transparency plan. And
I do want to share this real quick momentarily. This is from Larry right here. I'm going to give you the wall feed right there. Prison is a perfect place for liberals. If you think about it, everyone's equal. Free food and housing, no guns, universal health care, and same-sex relations. I mean, that prison is perfect for the left, for the liberals. I agree with that, Larry. Thank you for sharing that meme with me.
That's just honest.
It's just honest, bro. It's just honest. All right, what's the other one you got for us, Larry? We want to share this real quick and get through this dynamic. Holy cow, you guys are just going off on me. You can't say.
There you go.
Here we go. How long is this one? I remember we played it.
It's not very long.
All right, let me see if the wall feed's going to do it. And it shows that it's.
The thing that doesn't solve for me is the legal opinion, because I don't think we're going to magically.
You know
have
what,
one of
Kristen?
those.
Throw it away. Take it off the board. I don't really give a shit. This is stupid. This is an easy, simple one that should have just been taken care of. It's factual. I don't care. This is stupid.
And the audio drops for some reason. I don't know why it was zooms in, but it comes back.
This is stupid. We don't have
Okay,
time.
thank you.
Time to go home.
Thank you.
This is dumb.
Well, this was the agenda we were given.
He's gonna.
Sorry.
Oh.
Whoops. Whoops.
Yeah,
did
he
I
was.
do that?
He
Why
was
did I do
about to take the Lord's name in vain.
What can I ask you? What are we seeing here? What am I
What's the
missing?
point? Yeah. What's the? What
This is the Heartland School Board
Why did that-
meeting
why did that
on
do
Monday
that?
night, and that was I don't know why the computers do some of the stuff they do. It's crazy.
Let me try
But
this
this
again.
is the Heartland School
I
Board
was trying to make it
Monday night, and that is the school superintendent swearing at people.
The thing that doesn't solve for me is the legal opinion, because I don't think we're going to magically
You know
have
what,
one of
Kristen?
those.
Throw it away. Take it off the board. I don't really give a shit. This is stupid. This is an easy, simple one that should have just been taken care of. It's factual. I don't care. This is stupid.
What's he calling stupid?
He put forth a
Stupid. We don't have
Okay,
time.
thank you.
Time to go home.
Thank you.
This is dumb.
Well, this was the agenda we were given to deal with.
Jesus
There was no
Christ.
discussion item. We obviously brought new information to
Seriously,
the
take it
table.
off the table. I don't want it.
But let's keep our composure.
But
No,
Chuck
it's
shouldn't even be
dumb.
fucking sitting there in the first place.
So what are you
He's
looking
not
for
an
with the
elected
legal
school board member.
opinion?
He's
What is,
superintendent
Well,
employee.
with all due respect, getting the opinion from MASA does not serve the board or the people of the community. So I think we need to use the district's attorneys to get legal opinions.
to determine what though? When all
proper
these
procedure.
other
I'm not questioning the
districts-
numbers, the procedure that we need to follow. Mr. Scott just rattled off a lot of stuff that we need to be cognizant of. And I think to just brush that under the rug, to hurry up and get it done, I don't think
But
that's
we're
doing the
addressing
best.
what he said we needed to be cognizant of. We're addressing with the proposed amendments, the proposed changes.
But the only thing that doesn't solve for me is the legal opinion, because I don't think we're going to magically
You know
have
what,
one of
Kristen?
those.
Yeah, but the problem is that the whole thing was about Chuck Hughes' fucking salary,
Mhm.
and we know he's done a shit ton of underhanded, behind the scenes stuff.
Chuck Hughes is terrible.
We why
He's
dude,
just why I don't.
as much as we hate Slot, why haven't we got rid of this guy?
Yeah.
He's horrible.
Yeah, what's going on? What are they putting in the water in Heartland that he's allowed to be in that position?
Dude, he's horrible.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. You know, I don't have a clue. They keep electing. We've got 3 really good school board members.
Yeah.
All right. We have
Glenn
Greg,
Gogo.
Glenn Gogolewski.
Yep.
Right?
And we have
Greg.
Greg Keller.
Yep. And we
And
got
then we have
Jeff Scott.
Jeff Scott.
Great.
Yeah, yep. And then we got everybody else is a Chuck
We-
Hughes butt licker.
Yep.
How many positions on the school
7.
board?
7.
7? Okay.
There's 7. Okay, we
Yeah.
hold 3, and 1 stepped down and resigned, and they brought in this faker that went and told everybody, "Vote for me." I'm with you. I'm one of you. I'm one.
A
Yeah.
plant.
Like yeah. And then the second they got on, they voted with the libtards. And start.
So let's do a recall movement. What do we got to
Yeah.
do? Let's do this. I mean,
Yeah.
all politics is local, and we've got a school board that's out of control and a superintendent that's making $250,000 a year.
Well, you
And
can't.
when
you
when-
can't recall the new person because that's an appointment, but we can run somebody against her
Okay.
in November.
When Jeff lays it out, we didn't get the video prior to that because of the brevity of time.
yeah.
But brevity of time. But you've got Jeff who lays out a bunch of, and then Greg sits there and goes, "Dude, I'm just looking for some clarification and see what legal has to say about this." And Superintendent Chuck Hughes crumples up and says, "Fuck it, just take it off the
Yeah.
table. I'm done."
Mhm.
Really?
Mhm.
And it was all about his salary because
Mhm.
that's all that motherfucker cares about is his salary
Mhm.
and DEI bullshit.
Mhm.
That's all he cares about. And why is this guy still sitting there?
Yeah.
Is
that's my
because
question.
we've dropped the ball, right?
Mhm.
We don't want to support the candidates when they run, even though I've held meetings here at the man cave
Yes, we did.
for candidates running for school board. Okay.
Yes, you did.
Where's our local party? Well, we can't be partisan. You can't, but you can give them a platform. You don't have to be partisan. They can come in and talk at a public meeting.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
And it's this type of, it's like, dude, we just shoot ourselves in the foot because, well, they didn't I don't like the way that they talked about this. And I'm like, just come on, man. Get over yourself and let's get some shit done because our kids matter.
Because their agenda isn't far from the people that should be speaking out and you think would be speaking out. Their agenda is not far from where they stand.
Teddy graduated from Heartland. Chuck Hughes was there when Teddy was in school. Teddy didn't get any education on civics and government. He confessed tonight.
Well,
not as a full confession.
I said that we had a government class, but it wasn't as deep as how did.
You said you learned about delegates. You knew nothing about delegates until you listened to the show.
But it was basic civics, not. There was civics, but it wasn't as like comprehensive as it should be.
You could do.
It's the bare minimum.
You could do. Did you learn about delegates at all?
No. Well, the delegates are a very small part of. They just taught about like executive, legislative, judicial. So there was.
You could do 1 or 2 days on a delegate in a whole semester. That would stick with you.
Did what we share with you today, that stuck with you, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he's been part of the show because as much as Teddy's has his firm beliefs at 23 and stuff like that, he also is an extreme listener.
Yeah.
He'll come. Sometimes he'll text me and he'll go, I didn't realize that, you know, and he'll come back. And I've seen him even modulate his opinion, not because he was wrong, but he didn't have more information. Once he gets more information, what happens? We're transformed by the renewing of our mind, right? So we get new information and we go, oh, I learned something today and I'm going to grow into that, you know?
Yeah.
That's the Dynamax. Larry, your truck started out there. You got to leave?
Yes.
Well, get the sign my paper. Going to the overhead shot.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm
Did
going.
you hit that button before I did? It was lit up red. I was checking.
So there you go, buddy.
All right, Larry. Here you go, buddy. It's
I
on
thought
you.
Teddy brought the best perspective to the table tonight.
He's the bester.
Yeah.
Teddy the bester. Larry, give me your final thoughts. This camera's on you. Look at your monitor.
Look at my monitor.
Dude, the camera's on you, buddy. Give me your
Camera's
final
on
thoughts.
me. Yeah, well, we are definitely in different times right now. And it's going to be tough times, I think.
It is.
And people better get out and vote in November, because if you don't, the Democrats could take control and then it's done.
Even more, get out in August.
Yeah.
In their primary.
Right. But you got to get out in August and you got to get out in November.
These open primaries.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
And,
overwhelming.
that's what's frustrating about being a delegate, is because you go out there and you work and you work and you work.
Yeah.
And then you're happy with 25% turnout.
Yeah.
No.
Which I've never been happy with.
Yeah.
And it's it makes me wonder, and a lot of people, when I say this, get irritated with me for saying this, is I wish the congressmen and all the state reps were picked by the delegates
Well,
on the floor.
Yeah.
And that's not for any other reason. Then it doesn't seem like anybody gives a shit.
Right. And we already picked the Attorney General. We already picked Secretary of State.
So we should.
We're already picking.
Why aren't we picking a congressman?
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
the people don't want to vote 20%,
And
25%,
that's
17%.
And that's what Christina Caramo was attempting to do.
Yeah.
But she, I think she attempted to do it before she was well seated on the job.
I mean, if the people would
but
actually go
that's
and
what
vote,
Yeah,
then I'm all for it.
exactly.
But they don't do it. They
We
don't
gotta
do
get 'em
it.
out in the
I mean, even
primaries.
in Livingston County is predominantly a Republican county, right? So why aren't they?
That's changing pretty quick, though.
No, we're hardcore Republican. It's not even close to changing. It's hardcore. Hardcore. We are hardcore.
I don't see it.
About
I see
70%.
the
About 70%. About 70.
I see the Democrats making. If you go to the meetings and you see, and because I actually count the people and know who's America first and who's not, and it's up to close to 50-50.
Well,
in my estimation.
That's who's showing up at the meetings.
Yeah, well,
Because they get out. Yeah, I'm talking about the
The
voters
general
as a whole,
public.
the general public as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the meetings, it's probably close to 50-50, might even lean more Democrat,
Yeah.
because, they're more angry at this point.
And that filters down to because the Democrats seem to be more out there knocking on doors
Mhm.
and conveying their message to the
Yeah, they're
citizenry.
motivated by hate.
Yeah.
They are. That's
And-
what
and-
motivates them.
And evil.
It keeps them warm.
Yeah.
Their hate for the United States, their hate for anything good, and especially their Trump derangement syndrome.
Their hate of God.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
All of it. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You cannot be a Democrat and a Christian.
I agree.
You can't.
I agree.
Because how are you honoring God if you're voting Democrat? If you're voting Democrat, you're voting for gay marriage, you're voting for abortion, LGBTQ extremism, child gender mutilation surgeries, and all this stuff. And everything that's related to the Democrat. It's like this piece of junk that's running for president, Gavin Newsom, right? He's his state is, if you kidnap a kid from their parents, you can take them to California and they'll do a transgender surgery on the kid without the parents' knowledge. And you don't get in trouble. But you kidnap somebody else's kid.
And now they're getting sued.
Yeah, they do, and they should. They should get sued out of existence, just like Dana Nessel.
And the thing
by the way, the electors have taken the first step into filing their lawsuit against
good deal.
Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel.
Nasty Nessel.
Yes, and please, people in the chat room,
we do not use certain language.
Well, let me say, and in California, when it comes to voting integrity, you're not allowed to ask to see their ID.
Right. Because they want cheaters there. That's
100%.
There's only one reason to be against the SAVE Act.
Yeah.
And that's to be able to cheat in elections.
Yep.
That's it. All right. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye, Larry.
Goodbye.
What camera do I got to go to? Because Larry's leaving. Because he'll walk in front of the table cam as he's heading out. Thanks, Larry. Close that laptop for me and drop your chair, buddy.
Yep.
Grab a piece of chicken on your way out.
Dude, yeah. Dude,
Somebody put it away, didn't they?
I put it away. It's in the fridge. Grab a piece. You like cold chicken. Give me pick a good color. It's green. Go green.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I do gotta go. See you later.
See ya.
All right,
out, Larry.
good seeing you.
You
Huh,
stayed
bud?
your hour. Get out. You know what? Somebody hit my camera today. It was me. Look at the overhead camera was out of. I just realized it was out of line. That was me. Look at how crooked it is. It's crazy. Nobody cares but me. I care. 15 cameras over here. All right. Bye, Larry. Give me your thoughts here, Joe. Your final thoughts on the show tonight. I thought it was a great discussion. It was good stuff. But give me your final thoughts on
the precinct delegate thing. That statement that undermines a precinct delegate and says they're basically not needed is ridiculous.
Would you concede that it was quite asinine?
A very foolish and ignorant statement.
Okay.
And so, again, precinct delegates do so much. They volunteer their time in supporting candidates. They go door to door to spread the word with their neighbors.
Thanks, Tim. I know it's cockeyed.
They do so much to volunteer and help out in the community, many of them, and to say that they don't do anything is foolish. They're the basis of our government.
And you've done so much hard work to get people involved.
Well, the best,
and it's commendable. It is.
The best part about my experience is the volunteers, the precious people that showed up at 8:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning at a church to recruit. Like, thank you. And I'll leave people's names out. I don't want to do that, but so many good people
Yeah.
that helped out and volunteered, and were out in the cold, rain, collecting signatures at the Trump rally, or
Yeah.
didn't go to the Trump rally because they
Right.
they were there for to accomplish something. So precinct delegates, you get my ire up when you try to put them down.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why I was honored to have you on tonight, because I know that your passion, you want to keep the ground game moving forward. You know, you want to keep that going, because if we don't have these local people stepping up, then what do we have?
Right. Yeah.
And
then you have establishment.
Well, I didn't go to county convention this year because it was, some people criticize Teddy that you got to vote. Well, I sat out this year as a point, and a lot of people did. 116.
Yeah, a lot of people
out of 478
or 79.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Yeah,
it's supposed to send ripple effects through the leadership, through the establishment, that we're not putting up with this shit. And you know what? We maybe come back in greater numbers when we get pissed off enough.
Well, but I would bet that the leadership doesn't mind them being.
That's true.
Less.
That's true. But
because
the next cycle, when elections come again, you may see a resurgence to go, you know what? We're gonna straighten this out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If maybe if I was a few years younger and
I think you're very spry for a white guy.
Didn't put my wife through the.
Isn't that a lyric?
Put my wife through she made a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah.
That allowed me to do what I did.
Maybe it's time to shift from the ground game and knocking doors to sitting in that chairmanship.
Yeah, but a man's got to know his limitations.
100%. You got to know what the Holy Spirit's leading you to do.
Yep. Thank you for allowing me to be on the podcast.
Joe, I love
Appreciate
you all the
it.
time.
I love you, man.
Dude.
Yep.
You're a beautiful
Absolutely.
Soul. How many events have we done here in the Man Cave where you've
participated?
Where I've been able to host, and you brought in a group of people, delegates and stuff like that. We just had a good time here hanging out.
Absolutely. It's great.
What, we done like three or four? We done like 3 or 4?
3 or 4, and I'm looking to do another one here soon.
Yeah. And dude, I keep making improvements to the Man Cave.
Yeah.
And we're gonna,
and people love it here. They show up here and they love it. What you got going on here?
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's why I build it, because I love it, but then I make it so other people can love it too.
Yeah, and you do make people feel comfortable, and they feel like they want to be here, and they know that they're welcome here.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the way it is.
No, what's the word I'm looking for? No clicks here.
Yeah. No bullshit agendas.
Yeah.
Go, Ted. With my cockeyed fucking camera up there. And Teddy, where's it at? Go.
Oh, okay. So final thought. Number 1, I wish we could have some nice weather soon.
Dude, what's crazy? I put weather in the chat in the paper and we never got to it.
We didn't. That's usually don't get to a few subjects.
Dude.
I wish I hope we'll get some nicer weather on the horizon soon. And number 2, I think we're past the Rubicon at this point in terms of kind of this administration's effectiveness. You think we thought the first couple months, we're all happy about it, things were happening, and then just momentum died. And then
you think
I was saying they got to stop focusing on foreign stuff. They got to stop focusing on foreign stuff. They got to stop focusing on foreign stuff.
Okay.
What do? They down. And now we're at a point where
it's derailed the whole Trump agenda.
It's derailed the agenda, and it's just so reckless that it endangers, again, our economy, which is already in teeters, and they never did a proper effort into fixing it, or at least do messaging about it, but they didn't really.
We made sure Wall Street was safe.
Oh, yeah, obviously. The Dow's at 50,000.
Yeah. Why are we complaining about Epstein?
And
there is nothing behind Epstein, right? Boy, when I heard
The Epstein
that,
files don't exist. Oh, wait, we're going to release them.
boy,
Anyways, so
Bondi has to go. Sorry.
You mean pay for play, Bondi?
So, you know, and what Joe's saying, the longer the war continues, the worse things are going to be. But I think we're just at the point where, unless like some act of God happens and everything's all humpty dory, and we're at the so-called golden age, wherever that went,
Right?
Just the midterms are going to be a shellacking, and you know,
That's
it's not because the Democrats are good or anything. It's just that this administration just performs such a
drop the fucking ball.
They drop the ball so hard
Yep.
that people don't even want to vote for them, or people just don't want to turn out for them.
They want to and they disengage.
People don't want to vote for 50.
They didn't drop the ball. They decimated it.
People don't want to vote for.
But they looked for the opposition and threw it to them.
When you yourself say, oh, if you like want the Epstein files released, then you're not MAGA, or if you don't like, you know, neocon, warmonger, Mark Levin, you're not MAGA, then
you're an idiot.
And you alienate your actual key allies have been with you and are actually supportive of the real MAGA agenda, and you ditch them for, you know, foreign influence and what Tino's saying, Jared. I mean, Jared Kushner's probably
and Trump knew that. He said, I'm not going to have that guy.
And what does he do?
My son-in-law in the next administration.
But he
brought him right back in there.
Yep. So
he's a poison pill.
Final thought is that, you know, we pray for our soldiers. We hope they're safe.
100%.
But
100%.
We care about them. But I do not care for the government and the people that recklessly got us into that. And you know, it's
that's why we say we support our troops. We don't support the foreign wars that they're subjected to. And most of them, when you talk to them, most of them will tell you, I got over there and realized really quickly that I was sent into a bullshit conflict, and I had to do the best to honor the guy next to me and fight for the guy in the trench or in the Humvee next to me. But what I was sent over there to do, I found out was
and well, I just hope the Miriam Adelson money, the AIPAC money, and whatever Bibi Netanyahu, you know, at least, you know, I hope just getting all that donor money and having Bibi Netanyahu and Lindsey Graham happy was really worth betraying your American people over. And
it's not, but yes, I understand.
But it's just like, my final thought is that MAGA at this point is dead, right? They're putting MAGA away like they did in 2024 when they put the woke away, right?
Yeah.
Putting the woke away in 2024 was just trying to get the military recruitment up.
Right.
Right, because people are just so demoralized by woke that they didn't even want to join the military.
Right.
And then you got that put away. People join the military. Boom. You get what the establishment still gets what it wants, even though MAGA, quote unquote, is in charge. Yeah. And they can just kill the movement. They can kill the energy and discredit it for a generation or two.
Yeah.
And
I feel like I'm on a runaway train, and the tracks going over the edge have disappeared, and we're gonna just fall into the abyss. It's just a matter of time when the train hits that where the track is missing.
That's just my final thought. I think we're kind of at the end game of the Trump presidency, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a year ago how excited everyone was, and we were stoked, and we were like, and it just, I don't know how you could drop the ball just that hard and just fumble it or just be so incompetent. And it's just, nothing just surprises me anymore. And I'm just, you know, it's just a shame.
And you were already black-pilled. Now you're even more black-pilled.
I was black-pilled since 2019, but it's just like,
But
you know, I thought, you know, you'd think, you know, like they did the bare minimum of securing the border and pardoning the J6ers and doing a bunch of other good stuff, but it's just the bare minimum. They didn't really do any damage to the apparatus that controls the country, and they just succumbed to foreign influence.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Teddy. Let's see, overhead shot, and I'll do my signature here. Mine's always, I do the John Hancock sign on mine, because this is my show. It's what I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's my button? I'm missing my button.
Good night, y'all.
There it is. Oh, I got to do mine. Hey, guys, like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff. Looks like what? Read that to yourself and tell me if it's necessary.
What?
The last few chats.
Tina just says we need to do something about all the road judges.
Yes.
And then Pyrus says hope has turned into apathy.
Yes. Oh, I agree with that.
Tim says he has to drive to get the dogs in the Arizona desert.
Oh, he's 109 degrees while we sit here at 22 degrees.
And
here
Dale
in Michigan.
says Teddy is wise.
It was 60. That's true. It's 65 the other day. For Sunday, it was 65. It popped us in his 22 today.
Yeah, I know.
2 days later, it's ridiculous.
The weather is as erratic
crazy.
as the government.
100, even more so. And then they're probably the ones running it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, share, and subscribe, do all that stuff, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight on all the platforms. I hope all the platforms are working. I know we're still trying to work out all those dynamics. Even the best higher end studios out there doing podcasts have glitches and stuff like that. So we roll with it and try to do the best we can. But if you guys want to support the show other than super chats, thealexjonesstore.com/this is my brain. Scott, you got some, let's see, which one is it? Booth cam right there. No, it didn't work. It didn't work.
I didn't cover it up, I promise.
No, it's just not switching to you. Anyways, you got your methylene blue and your methylene red. You said the red actually kicked in the first couple times you took it, and you took half a dose.
I took half a dose,
and your alertness,
man, it put me on high alert. It was really good. I was impressed. I couldn't imagine a full dose. I think half a dose is perfect for me.
You got to ease into it, brother.
Yeah,
you got to ease into it. So
and
that's
I'm never into easing in anything.
I know it. So methylene red, that's on the Alex Jones store, but go to the Alex Jones store, thealexjonesstore.com/this is my brain. Look up some methylene red, some methylene blue. Those are for cognitive stuff. There's also, I take the turmeric gummies. I also take the Shilajit gummies. I take the collagen, or not collagen. What's the weightlifting one? Gummies, the
Creatine.
Creatine gummies. And then there's a couple other things on there. I love the oxy. What's it called? It's an oxygen one. I can almost see the label in my head because I take it downstairs. It's the, anyways. Yeah, whatever. I take a lot of stuff on there. Apparently it doesn't cause the brain to fully submit there. But there it is up there, the alexjonesstore.com/this is my brain. Guys, check that out. That's helps support the show. We get 10% of everything you buy on the website. And that supports us and maybe helps me buy a camera or pay somebody to fix it when it's not straight up above my head. So, but all of that, guys, above all, we're living with a house divided. One of the things in the Old Testament, it said, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. We want to pray for the peace and unity of the people of God to come together by the Spirit of God, not by an agenda, not by a party, not by a denomination, not by anything else other than the Holy Spirit bringing us together. And you know what we need to do? We need to endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. You can't create unity, but you can do everything not to mess it up. And with that, love you. We'll catch you guys. I think we'll see what we have for a Sunday show with some guests coming in, but I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will catch you guys all next time. We're out of here.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg.
Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
Dude,
that's an egg.
seriously.
That's an egg.
It's a metaphor.
It's still an egg.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
I want crepes.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
Extra large brown cage-free eggs.
Can I have your brain with hot cakes?
A little sausage and a little toast and potato.
That would be great.
Does it have antibiotics?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this shit.
Well, they got to be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize.
Never apologize and never explain.